welcome to episode 76 of Floating Through Film. This week we are continuing our Tsai series with The River and The Hole. But before we get into all that, let me introduce my co-hosts, Luke.
Hello.
And Danny.
Hello.
Alright, so continuing on the Tsai series with The River. So Danny, I know this is your first viewing, right?
Yeah, the
first viewing of The River.
Time.
I know, Luke, you love this movie, so
yes.
Go on ahead and give your guys' overall thoughts before we get into it.
Oh, Luke, go first.
Oh, okay. I was like, can I comment guard because I thought The Hole came out first for some reason, but yeah, The River, definitely probably the most divisive Tsai movie we've talked about so far. I mean, he's definitely divisive. Like, not everyone's getting to Tsai, but especially this movie, I feel like it's very.
Yeah.
It's easily his most bleak movie at this point, I guess on the outside at least. I do find this movie, it is very depressing, but it is also very darkly comedic.
Oh, it's very funny.
Yeah. We'll talk about it when we get into it, but it's like so despairing that it just like at some point you have to laugh at it. Like, yeah. It's just, he goes so far with it. It's kind of what I find so funny about it. But it's, I think you said one of your reviews like hypnotizing. I think that's like,
yeah.
Like, I mean, we talked about Tsai's, like, he's really good at, like, having characters do repetitive movements, like, repetitive actions, and making it, like, enjoyable to watch. But this is, like, one of the, like, key, like, movies where he does that a lot. Like, all this stuff with, like, the doctors operating on, or the chiropractors or whatever, like, all that stuff is, like, so hypnotizing.
No, just, I mean, the standout in this movie is obviously Lee Kong-shin. Like, he is insane in this movie. Just his mannerisms and everything he has to do.
Yeah, it's insane.
Which, to the point where I know, like, he actually did have a health condition around this time. That's one of the reasons why they did The River. But I think he actually did, like, hurt his neck. And... This wasn't entirely like a fake experience for him. Like they actually were going to like all these doctors and stuff. It's similar to like what we'll talk about with Days.
He comes back to this one.
Yeah, they come back to this like later on. But yeah, I mean, I think he's the standout easily in this movie, though.
I mean, you could say that about any of his movies.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, right? I mean, like
no, that's true. But this one, like. I feel like he's emphasizing Lee Kong-shin even more with just like making him do what he's doing, basically.
Yeah, that's fair. But,
okay, so
because his neck movements stand out and everything. But
honestly, I mean, because this one stood out the most because I remember you saying like he had neck problems from the Walker series and stuff, all the stuff he has to go through.
That's where the ones.
But this whole this whole neck thing, this neck pain just must be a theme through his movies too. Honestly,
yeah.
Just watching that, watching this one, but I will say like. I'll just be straight. Like, I didn't love The River, like especially like you guys. It's my first one. Like, it's. I think it's more like it's because it was my first watch.
Yeah.
Like it's. I might need to watch it again because. Yeah, I might just need to watch it again because I didn't find it as funny as maybe you guys do. But it's definitely like maybe like I need to. It's like one of those things I just need to watch it again.
Yeah.
You know? But there's parts I do really love still.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you my experience because it kind of goes to what you're saying. Where this was one of the Tsai movies I didn't love as much the first time. I still liked it a lot. Like I'm not gonna dislike any Tsai movies because I mean I love the man. But the first time I watched The River, I felt kind of similar to you, where it was like. I don't really know what to think about like what I just watched, and I didn't really see any humor in it at all. But like with a lot of Tsai movies, like these are my third times watching most of these, or like with like The River and Viva La Mort, I've watched those like 5 times. I'm pretty sure.
Rebels
and Viva La Mort I've watched like 5 times. Yeah, but most of these they're going to be like third watches for me. And most of these that we are coming up to, I'm seeing the hilarious moments that like this time watching it again, like watching it for like a third time, because even the second time I didn't fully get like the funny moments that I could that we'll get to, but I mean it is one where it catches you off guard. I feel like the first time you watch it.
Yeah. And to be honest, it might just be more like my thing, like. The first half of the movie, maybe even the first third, like it like really had me. Like the beginning really grabs you. I'm like, damn, like it's like it's almost like it's gonna be kind of a fun movie, you know.
Well,
the way it starts though is so great. And honestly, I was gonna save it when we got to it. I'll just say it now. Like the part where like when we hear like them say they need another person to play the dead body because the mannequin's not working.
Yeah.
Like in my head, I was like, they're definitely gonna go. He's definitely gonna they're gonna use Li Kangsheng. It has to be. And like so the fact that happened too, like made me happy. But,
It made me happy.
Like no, like the beginning is like maybe just like the second half of the movie. Like the big event in the movie, maybe we'll save it until we get to it. But the whole big event, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the encounter.
Yeah, the encounter. Yeah, honestly, yeah.
That's what I have. That's how I have it.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to put it, though. Yeah, because that's a good way to put it.
It's the moment that represents the despair.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. But that kind of
shows that
I don't know if it works for me. You know, like it might just be too like it is kind of comedic the way it happened. Like it could easily be as a comedy if it was played different. You know, that kind of thing happening. You know, that could happen in a comedy or something.
Yes.
But, like, that's why I'm like, I don't know if it works for me. That's why I need to rewatch it. But I do like all Tsai's movies. I love his style, and I love how it's done. It just, maybe compared to the other two that are, like, more direct, this one maybe feels a little more indirect. That's why I don't know if it
You usually like
me.
indirect, too.
I do. And that's why I'm like, I don't know if that... But it's all based on that kind of encounter. If you buy that, you know, or like if you, I don't even know. I was going to ask you guys what you think that means anyway in general, but we can save that for later.
Yeah, I mean, but we can definitely save that for later, I guess.
Because we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Like that's why, like to me, like it's that moment. Like, does that work for me? And that's why I don't know if it works for me all the way watching this first time. So that's why I don't know if I love the movie as much.
All right,
but I do like most of it. You know, as we're gonna go through it, like there's like we're gonna talk about the motorcycle shots that I love. And, like,
I mean, it's one of his best.
Honestly, maybe his best intro of Li Kangsheng and all of his movies.
Yeah.
Or the ones I've seen so far, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, he looks the coolest in this movie.
He does, dude. Sure. I mean, yeah, and a girl he just recognizes from 2 years ago.
Yes.
They start
because the opening is just like them meeting on the escalator.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it just looks so good.
It does. It does, dude. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a great, fun movie. You know, called The River. Like, you know, Renoir has a movie called The River too, and it's a great movie.
No, yeah, he does. Yeah, I forgot about that.
He does. Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No, not yet.
You need to.
No, I'm pretty sure this girl that he meets is the one he's gonna. Is this the? No, it's not the same one that he meets. And what time is it there? But I know that she's one. I know that she's a recurring character in some aside.
She might be in the Waiver Cloud.
I think that might be what it is.
Is she the porn actress in the Waiver?
No, she's not the porn actress. The porn actress is a Japanese actress. I'm pretty sure because he actually got an actual porn star to play the porn actress.
Okay.
The girl that is his actual love interest might.
That's from What Time Is It There? I think.
What?
That girl, I'm pretty sure, is from What. You know what? Never mind.
I'm looking at it right now. French girl, right?
No, it's an Asian girl.
Okay,
Asian.
I'm pretty sure it might be the same one from What Time Is It There. Regardless, though, it cuts directly to them on the motorcycle, unlike the motorcycle, and just like an amazing shot, just like of Taipei.
Yeah.
But then it gets to like
because Luke said this is his favorite one, maybe
your favorite shot.
Tsai motorcycle shot. Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, the Viva one.
The Viva one was really good.
But like I was saying, I was more just saying like Tsai's just amazing in motorcycle shots.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's
the hair blowing in the wind.
Yeah, just like the focus on the face, basically.
Oh, exactly.
He has sunglasses, honestly. Too.
Yeah, that too. Like, I mean, Viva L'Amour like only has like one short one, but this one has like quite a few.
But this is where this is funny. It is like where you were saying how this movie is funnier. This is definitely even I noticed the first time like. Part of the because we see him on the motorcycle and then it cuts immediately to the mannequin,
yes.
like the pointing it out.
Like it's so funny. Like the mannequin, like all the mannequin work. It's like it's filmed in the perfect Tsai way of just like he sets up like the stack camera and just lets it go, and like just lets everything kind of happen. So you're actually watching kind of like a backstage at a set.
Yes.
But it's just the sound, like the sounds that he's using makes it like so much funnier. Just because every time they throw that mannequin into the wire, it makes that distinct like thunk sound, and it just makes you like, it just makes me
funny
cackle every time.
Yeah,
it just makes me cackle, especially because they're like coming up with like these ridiculous ways to like try and make it look real. It's just like you're just thinking,
and the
like,
crowd in the background just makes it funny too, just watching it.
Yeah, they're just watching it. Well, because this is Anne Hui, like she's a fairly famous Hong Kong director.
Have you seen any of her movies?
Yeah, I've seen a few of her movies.
Okay. I haven't seen any.
I know that I'm pretty sure she did The Stunt Woman, but I know I've seen a few more of her movies, but she was like one of the more prominent. Yeah, like Boat People, A Simple Life.
Because this is like the scene after where they're like, where she sees Li Kangsheng just eating, like, and feeding the dog, and they're like, this has to be like Tsai representing how he first found.
It's what it seems like, yeah.
Yeah, well,
because it almost seems random.
Yeah,
Like,
and then-
you want to be in my movie?
and then honestly,
Like,
then him getting in the water, like in
Yeah,
the dirty
exactly,
water,
yeah.
is like kind of like what's about to happen, really. Like,
and hurting
we're
his
about to
neck
see.
too, right?
Yeah.
Like
This
it's kind of
is-
implied that
yeah,
it's
it's implied
neck
that this is where it comes
even
from.
though it never shows.
He's
it,
giving
like,
himself
what
up
the-
to like
yeah, but like kind of Tsai almost saying like I'm a huge reason for your pain almost.
I mean, basically.
I
Yeah.
think he's really said in interviews about like that exactly. Basically, like he was kind of the reason. Like,
But the reason why, like, a lot of people would just see that as abuse or something, but I don't
Yeah.
see it as that, because, like, I think Tsai sees it almost like that's what he does to himself, too, and he sees, like, Li Kongsheng as part of him, almost. That's how I would see it. Because, like, their movies are so, him and his movies are, them two are
They're
so
so
interconnected.
they're so
yeah.
intertwined, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you can't say, like, he hurts, it's like, he's, like, a representative of himself in some ways, too, so... They have that's all. I think we mentioned this in the first episode, but they have a really interesting relationship.
This,
just, like,
it's
in
one of the
film
more
history.
interesting relationships in film history, yeah. Or honestly, just in history, but
history. Yeah, honestly, fuck it, yeah.
fuck it.
Why
We'll just go, yeah, honestly. But, no, that's why I was like, yeah, he has to be referencing this, right? Just like, because I didn't even know this was actually like a real famous director, too. I thought she was
Yeah.
So that even makes more sense. Like, she's playing the Tsai character.
No, yeah, like I mean, it definitely makes sense that he's like trying. I mean, he puts things that happen in their real life into his movies all the time. Like I know that in our next set of our next two movies, I think we're about to get to, there was a fairly big event in both their lives that added into like the emotions for both of them, at least in the
Yes.
movie. And if you know about it, it also adds to you and to like what you're feeling. But
And even Days like started off like him just filming footage of like Li Kongsheng recovering from
his neck
health
injury.
problem. I think it was it might have been a stroke, partial stroke.
It might have been a partial stroke.
It may have both. I don't know. But yeah, like that's kind of how Days started. And so
I saw this today because someone logged it I follow. Li Kongsheng, the movie he directed. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen that
I don't
one.
think
I think it's
it's
Arrow's Art or something.
But apparently it's about like him going back to the place where Tsai first found him.
Ooh.
And I was like, that's why that reminded me of the scene too.
Yeah.
Like specifically where a director's finding Li Kongsheng to act in a movie. So that made me want to watch that movie he directed too. But I don't know how to find it.
it looks insane.
It used to be streaming on Prime, and I don't think it is anymore. But I mean, yeah, we can check that out later. Obviously, you can probably
the way I saw it, someone on Twitter posted a screenshot of like a quote from it, and it was something like Li Kongsheng talking to himself, saying like people say I'm slow, but really I just go at my own pace and rhythm or something. I was like, oh damn.
Nah.
It's like,
Hey, I'll DM him on Instagram and see if he'll send me a copy.
who?
Li Kongsheng.
Oh, he's on. Does he actually post and stuff a lot?
Yeah, he posts a lot.
Shit.
It's
I didn't follow
hilarious.
him. Because dude, you need to follow John Woo. He posts
On
a lot.
Twitter?
No, on Instagram.
Oh, on Instagram.
Yeah, he'll post old stuff. He's a good follower.
He's like 80.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, because he posted his.
He's still keeping up with his Instagram.
He posted his Freakin' tribute too, which was really nice.
Oh, okay. I need to watch more Freakin', honestly.
Yeah, same. I barely watched him.
But yeah,
R.I.P.
like R.I.P. Yeah. Oh, wait, have we even said that?
Yeah.
I think we did.
Did we mention it last
maybe
week?
I don't know.
Yeah,
none of us are really familiar with
R.I.P.
him.
Freakin'.
No, but he still is a giant.
Yeah,
you
he is a
know?
giant,
He made some great movies.
Yeah, I do love Sorcerer a lot.
And he was saying how like the French Connection was a huge impact on
On his movies.
on Hong Kong cinema in general.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just the French Connection. But yeah.
Haven't seen that.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
I watched it a long time
I haven't
ago.
seen
Like I
the French
barely
Connection
remember
either,
it. So yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'd seen. He did The Exorcist, right? I'm pretty sure.
The Exorcist,
I think that's the only
Wages
one
of
I've seen
Fear.
from him.
I think he did. Wages of Fear.
He did Sorcerer,
Oh,
which is
Sorcerer.
like
Oh, it's a
it's
remake of
derived
it.
from the same
okay,
novel
which is a
as
remake.
Ways of Fear. But yeah.
Yeah. Regardless, back to the movie.
Back
to the movie. We'll come back with just like one of the best shots in the movie. Him getting into the water.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the actual
Yes.
shot. The
And
actual
his whole
shot of
filming
him
of it
actually.
and
Like
stuff.
yeah, he's just. I mean, it's like filming. He's filming the behind the scenes, basically.
Yeah.
But it's just
He's definitely
An
playing a
insane
line
shot.
here right now. Like
he's definitely blurring the
Yeah.
line. Yeah. Which he does in a lot of his movies, obviously. But.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just an amazing like long shot. But yeah,
and this and he kind of comes back to, we'll talk about in Visage, like him filming like an actual like filming a movie set basically.
Yes.
He comes back to this in Visage, which I think is really interesting. But I'm interested to talk about that when we get to it. But like now it's Lee Kang-sheng in director's seat. Like it's interesting anyway. Yeah.
No, yeah, and I do, and the water in this scene honestly is very interesting. It's just like it looks disgusting. Like, like it feels like Lee Kang-sheng agreed to it, or like he agreed to do it, and then whenever he saw it, he probably was thinking like, "Oh fuck!" Like I didn't know it'd be like this.
I'm in too deep now. Like.
I'm in too deep now, and he probably got paid literally nothing because he was just an extra. But yeah, like the next few scenes are just. I think we have some more motorcycle shots of him just riding back and like showering, basically, getting ready for his girlfriend to come over.
Okay.
And he's like showering, and he discovers he like can't get the smell of the river off of him.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's honestly really like something's coming basically after that. But he does have sex before that, so it's all good. But yeah, after he has sex with his girlfriend, this is the first time we cut to the sauna or the bathhouse with Kong's dad. Laying there, getting hit on by an older man.
Yeah, and you said this in your review, something like the bathhouse is like some of the. I forgot what you said exactly. Like it's some of the best film stuff of Tsai, or like.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Is that what you said? I forgot what you said, but
no, yeah, it's just some of I think I'll get to this
because there's something
later,
weird about this. Like whole every time he comes back to this place, it's like. It's almost completely different than how it's filmed and everything else.
No, it's just like it's some of his best atmosphere I think he's ever done.
Like lighting and everything.
I mean, the shot later on where it's like very slowly following
Lee Kang-sheng.
Yeah, is it him walking through? Yeah. When he's looking for a room.
The entire ending is just like it's honestly like that first. Whenever you're first, that's one of the scenes that I was talking about. Whenever you're first watching it, you think it's like. Kind of dark, kind of bleak. Like people are like all looking for like a place to belong, and like literally everything's occupied. But watching it a third time, it's just like everyone like the sounds of the doors opening and closing is just so comedic to me. Like it's just really funny. Like I don't know. It's just kind of it's just kind of the like Tati thing. Like his specific sounds that he would use for objects.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of has
the sound
like,
of these doors.
Yeah, because like the more I've watched Tsai movies, the more these sounds are like just getting to me more and more. Yeah, they're just getting more and more funny.
See, that's why I need to rewatch it. Like I don't remember the sounds as much. I didn't see it as funny as well. I was seeing it as more like serious, like what you were saying first time. It's more too, like, but you could definitely see it both ways. Yeah. Like especially rewatching.
No, yeah, but to me, like why I said that is because it really is like just his best atmosphere building. I think in almost any of his movies. Like I don't want to say it's his best, but it's like some of the best he's done for sure.
This is where like this shot specifically, even though this is a shot we're talking about way later in the movie, but fuck it. Once again, we're coming to the end.
Yeah.
But this is like because I remember we were skeptical that said Tsai is like a huge influence on him.
Yeah.
And this is like feels like more like a Tsai shot, like using almost like this kind of like meditative, like trance-like shot, but it's in like a bathhouse, like a very normal place or like. I don't know. It's like almost combining these two things. Like the way it's filmed is almost like how Tarkovsky might film a scene.
Okay.
But it's in a very like Tsai area still.
Yeah.
And it's like merging like a style of a tradition versus like your own take on it. But to me, that's why like it. That was another reason why I was excited to go through Tsai because I love We're Skeptical.
No, he said, I'm pretty sure there's a quote where Skeptical said, he said like Goodbye Dragon is the best film of the last one.
That's like one of the few ones. He puts a couple every time he does the science.
Yeah, he has Goodbye Dragon in there. I think that's like one of his favorite movies.
Which fair.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's also crazy because they're not that far apart from We're Skeptical made his first movie in 2000.
Yeah.
And Tsai.
Yeah, so that was just like 10 years earlier. Basically.
Yeah. No, dude, because I read a old interview that he did about The Hole in like 2000, and they had a picture of him, and he looks so much different. Like he has glasses.
Tsai.
He's like wearing glasses, and he has like a little bit of hair, but
just a little.
I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like this is like this guy makes like he would have been like a computer engineer in a different life or something.
Well, have we talked about the Taiwanese New Wave at all? Like,
not really.
Honestly, it's because he is very much like in his own lane when it comes to that. I feel like he's not nearly as
he doesn't like being.
Well, he's from Malaysia originally too.
Yeah,
but he doesn't like being included in the Taiwanese New Wave.
But I mean, we're gonna the whole more, but he also is part of Taiwan too.
For sure.
It's a very.
Was he friends with like Edward Yang and Hao Xiaoshen?
I don't know if he never really like talks about that in his interviews, so I'd assume no. I know he's not like not friends with them, but I think it's just more like he was just doing his own thing.
Yeah.
Like, he seems very much
but
like
they
the
all
guy
seem
that's
like
just doing
that,
his own
honestly.
thing.
They all seem like that.
I'm pretty sure Hao Xiaoxin and Edward Yang are
Yeah, those
very.
two.
I'm pretty sure they were pretty good friends at least. But yeah, Tsai doesn't really like being included into the Taiwanese New Wave just because I know that he's explained it like he doesn't feel like he belongs in that just because like his movies don't perform in Taiwan to begin with, so it's like he sees himself more as like just a director for the world.
International.
Yeah,
I mean, we just have to call it
director,
something
so.
very similar too. Like he doesn't even make films for Thailand's. Like really, because they don't even like his movies.
Yeah, I'll say he has a rocky relationship with.
Like
Thailand.
honestly, they're very similar because Tsai and Rhea Sattakal both like in their home countries they wouldn't really like their movies except for that they get international praise.
Yeah.
So then they're kind of like tolerated, like they are world famous directors, so we kind of have to include them really. But
Yeah.
they really don't like their movies.
That's why Rhea
also.
Sattakal is not making movies in Thailand anymore.
I mean, same as Tsai.
Yeah, I know. I think it was what time is it there? Only got 1 week release in Taiwan just because the new Spider-Man was coming out.
Damn.
And the film theater, the theater director or whatever, like decided to push what times they're out so that they could get more screens for Spider-Man.
Damn.
And Tsai said that's one of the reasons he decided to make, or I think Goodbye Dragon also, or he wanted to do that as well. But no, Goodbye Dragon was before that, so that wasn't it. But
No, Bad Dragon was after. What time was it there? I think.
was it?
Bad Dragon is 2003.
Okay.
What time is there? 2001.
Yeah,
2001, 2000, like.
Well, regardless, one of his movies got pushed for Spider-Man, and he was not very happy about it. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, like a lot.
I mean,
of
it's
his movies
Spider-Man.
like
You
that.
kind of have to. No, I'm kidding.
Stop it. We might have to kick you off. No, yeah.
But we were at the bathhouse.
No, yeah, it's the
time
first time we're seeing it,
And
honestly,
then we meet the father. It's kind of a good introduction to the
it
father.
is.
too, or
It
a
is
good
because like
transition.
once I think the first time you watch this, like these first few shots, you're not sure it's the same family as it is from Rebels, but like you figure out it definitely is as it keeps on going. So it just kind of makes you.
You do, but not when you should. And what I mean by that is like when he gets hit by the
Oh yeah.
and
No, he doesn't get hit by a car. He just wrecks.
He just wrecks.
his
Yeah, he doesn't
motorcycle,
get hit. He just wrecks for the first time, and the father just like does not act like how a father should act.
This is why I'm
and that's where it's like, oh, they're not they're not related.
That's why I thought the first time I watched
Yeah.
it for sure as well. But like this time watching it, well, especially since I've seen Rebels a lot of times, and they don't really like each other in that movie either. It kind of makes sense. But this is what I'm talking about. By the movie's just gotten funnier is because like every time he wrecks his motorcycle, I just laugh out. I literally laugh out loud because the dad's reaction is just like so like.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like
They're not like what a father would be. They're more like how a stranger would be. Or
exactly,
something.
exactly.
That's why it's like you say like it's more clear that they're father and son, but I'm like, is it that clear? Like the way he's reacting, it's like not like that. It's like they're just almost strangers, which is I guess the obviously
which
one of the main points.
is one of the main points of the movie. But I do want to say before we get out of the first bathhouse scene, like the way the way it's shot and the way it's shot kind of the same, but the way it's at least lit completely changes towards the end of the movie.
Okay.
Which I don't know if that's just like indicating day and night, but I mean it might be, but I don't
didn't
know.
notice that.
But yeah, then we just have a lot of scenes of just their like kind of like how or like of Kong's father just at home, like living his house life, and you kind of see that that the relationships at home are not that great. Like all three of them are strangers to each other because we haven't seen the mom yet, but we see him just heating up leftover food. No one is at the house. Literally, no one's at the house. And then literally the scene after all this, like of him just being alone at the house, is Kong wrecking his motorcycle on the way back and him watching him, and it's like. This is your son that we find out. Like if you weren't sure by now, you still don't really know because of the way he acts.
Exactly.
Until like later on, whenever they're actually in the same house.
And even then, it's like, are they still just roommates or something?
I mean, it's kind of what it seems like because they all have separate rooms. So, but yeah, like I said already, I think the wrecking scene's pretty funny. Like it's honestly just the sound. It's just the sound because like you see him drive by all wobbly because that's one of the best shots. Like the letterbox header is like. He's on the way back home and his neck is starting to feel he's starting to like feel in his neck and he's just reaching up there and grabbing on the motorcycle. But yeah, like the shot of him actually wrecking isn't shown on screen. You just hear like a clatter in the background. You're just watching the dad's reaction. That's why
wrecks
are
funny though. Like, as long as there's not like anyone like dying horrifically, like
no, this is how I'm sure a lot of directors like doing this, but Katano loves doing this, where like you only show the aftermath. of the actual action. And the action actually happens by sound.
Yeah.
So you only hear the crash, and then when you cut, it cuts to he's already on the ground, and
Yeah.
the motorcycle's right next to him. It's like it's a good way to do it, and it makes the sound even more like stand out.
Or you can just be Tati and then just show it all.
Show it
Or
all.
show it all. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's had Rex off screen too, though. Right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know he's used like the sounds of breaking down vehicles off screen as a funny gag before, because that's how Monsieur Hulot's Holidays is.
It's just Tati uses like so many wide shots. Like it's like
Yeah.
he might have a wreck and then something else happening too. I don't know.
Something else happening in the corner
Yeah.
that you can see on your 100th viewing.
Fair.
Fair.
That's how I like to watch it.
No, one of the next major things that happens though is that we see where Kong's mom works, and she works as like this elevator hostess kind of, which is like such. And we'll see this later on in the movie, like a shot of her just doing her job, which looks terrible. But like just this opening part, you think this job would be terrible. Like you're really just standing in this one place,
No, it doesn't. Look
carrying people up and down an elevator, and that's your job.
It's crazy that like that used to be like a job though.
It really is crazy.
I guess when elevators like new technology, I'm sure like is that the reason why those people had jobs then? Like those jobs.
I think
were
it's
there?
just a sign that she's working in like a really high class.
Okay,
like
I guess high class. Maybe
yeah, like a high class
so,
society, because they can afford to have an elevator hostess. I think it's like a
Yeah.
perk.
Okay.
It's like a perk of like dining with that restaurant or something. Is that they have their own elevator hostess. You don't have to do anything yourself, basically.
And it's one of those things like, and labor's cheaper too. And one of
Yeah.
the signs like, she's like it's probably a sign like Tsai just like is showing that they're not paid well. You know, like
Yeah, not paid well, and I do think he's maybe not making a connection, but at least in my mind, it's like she's connecting people to other people, but like she can't have any because she has no like connection in her actual personal life. But
Dang, I like that because like there's a scene later on. I think it's like right after like one of the most intense scenes in the movie where he's like crying in the hospital.
yeah,
He's just like breaking down and his mom's hugging him, and then it cuts to her just in the elevator, like almost using it as therapy,
Yeah.
basically just going like to random floors.
and
And I was like,
down,
damn,
yeah.
that actually does sound kind of nice. Just like, but it almost like it's like that in between space, like you were saying. Like if you just want to be away from anyone, you just like take the elevator.
And just
you can
and
just
the
take it.
sensation of like going up
just
and
going
down,
going
like,
somewhere
yeah.
but not being around anyone. You know, it's like
Yeah,
I can
that's
see
really
that be kind of
interesting.
comforting.
Yeah, honestly.
yeah, comforting or kind of depressing too.
Depressing
like,
too. It's like, but it's like a place where she goes to be alone.
Yeah.
Where she is alone though,
yeah.
which could be good and bad.
Yeah. It's bittersweet, I guess.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
the word.
I mean, her life is kind of bittersweet, that's for sure.
It
But,
is.
Yeah.
but yeah, we just get more things of like. I think this is the first time that we're introduced to. We don't really think too much of it at first, but she's like feeding her boss like chicken, or I don't know if it's her boss, but she like gets in the car with some random guy that we've never seen in any of Tsai's movies. You remember this? And, and he like takes her home.
And then, yeah.
But I think it's like implied that she's cheating on Kong's dad, and obviously like later on we see she has been like cheating on him with this guy. But he drops her off at home, and this is where we find out, if you weren't certain before, you're certain now, that it's the same family from Rebels, because Kong walks in, asks his mom like for medicine for his neck, because his neck is really starting to bother him.
Yeah.
And I think the dad, is he home? I'm pretty sure he's home at this point.
Have we
too,
skipped? I
but-
don't. It doesn't matter where it is, but did we skip the part where she does go to a religious ceremony again too?
We haven't gotten
we
there
haven't got
yet.
that point.
That's
But I was like,
almost, yeah.
We're pretty
almost
close,
there.
but I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like, it's almost like he's replaying Rebels in some ways too.
No, yeah.
I mean, like when that scene comes, like, damn. This
No,
is
there
definitely
are
Rebels
two.
also
There are
that.
two Buddhist ceremonies in this movie. I'm pretty sure, because there's that one that he goes to with his mom, and then his dad takes him to that to the Buddhist.
Yeah,
abbot or
it
whatever
plays an
later.
important part in terms of like him trying to get his son healed.
Yeah, or they're trying anything. Like
Trying
they're literally
anything.
trying. I mean, like we can just honestly kind of get to there because that's kind of where we're at. Because like Kong is he like the first time he wakes up from this like neck injury. Like I feel like anyone watching it is going to be relatable. At least if you're like past the age of 23, probably, because like I feel like everyone's woken up and their neck has just been like literally like destroyed, like fucked in the middle of the night. You know, like you just slept on it wrong.
Yeah.
But like you could just tell that he's like in just such massive pain because of the way it's like holding his neck.
like the way it's like stuck to his shoulder. It's like he
This
walks
is like
around
what you're saying. Really great acting too.
Yes.
Like
he walks around like he's like an insect. That's like the best way. Like
it's like it's like extreme just enough towards the movie, but it's like where it's just unrealistic, but it's still realistic enough. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's like
he does such a good
it's like it's still acting, but it still looks realistic.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
But it's because like it really stands out like how uncomfortable
does.
he's like really pushing how uncomfortable it is.
And while I was watching the movie, I had to like kind of crane my neck.
Yeah, it's
just to, like make sure it's like you make sure you're not getting as tense as he is in this movie because you can like feel the tension. Like it's the thing of like this entire movie is building like this tension. Like there's always a tension building underneath, and like this plays a part into it obviously because his neck is in tension this entire movie. Yeah, but yeah, we did skip over the dad's roof is leaky. That also plays a huge part in this movie.
I mean, this is like says like some of the. This is actually like a funny scene too from the like an outside perspective. Like it would just be so annoying to like have to wake up in the middle of the night because your roof just starts leaking.
I love it so much.
And he has to move the way he has to like he's like having to think in the middle of the night like how he's gonna move his bed to like avoid the water. Dude, it's like painful watching, but it's funny.
No, it's painful watching, but it is very funny, and like it continues to get like funnier as the movie goes on. Because like we could just get to like this point now where it's like it's continued to like get worse, and he hasn't come up with a system to like where he has gotten that thing yet. The hose basically to like connect to the outside to where he doesn't have to deal with it. It's like right before that where it's getting worse, and he has like 3 buckets in his room, and he's like sleeping, and then he just like jumps up in the middle of the night. Like that jump just gets me every time. Like he just like jumps and like takes out. He's like, oh god damn it!
He's having like Vietnam flashbacks.
Yeah, like literally, he has to sleep like so long.
There's gonna be like a fourth hole, like all of a sudden.
Yeah.
No. But
really talking about funny scenes though, because I think I'm talking like the first time I think it starts leaking.
No, yeah, I skipped ahead. I skipped a little ahead.
Because there is another, like, these are back-to-back funny scenes where it leaks, and then we watch, this time he actually watches his son crash, like, in one shot, like, right next to him, like, when
he just runs into the wall.
And this is so funny, because he's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you driving?
Yeah.
And then you think he's gonna drive for him? Or at least I did.
So
and then instead of that, he's like, still he's driving, and he's like holding his neck. Oh my god.
It pushes the limits of size motorcycle shots.
No, but you can see that as Psy propping up Li Kang-sheng and like trying to like hold them together like with duct tape.
Instead of actually helping him. Yeah. That's a good way to see it.
Sticking the camera in front of him.
But it's like so funny the actual way he does it. Because like I was like, okay, now he's just gonna drive. Like finally, like one logical thing.
That's movie. Nope. Oh, it's so good though. Hilarious. Before we get to that point, though, there is another really funny scene of his dad like peeing for an absurdly long time. It's like a 1 minute long take of just him peeing. Like I don't know, I just had to get that in there. It's insanely long. Oh, it's definitely.
And I mean, there's a lot of peeing in the hole too, as we'll get to.
There's a lot of peeing in the hole. There's a lot of puking in the hole too.
Yeah,
directly in the hole.
Yeah.
No. The next thing is Kong does meet his mom for that Buddhist ceremony that we were talking about. And it cuts like it's Erica with the dad like having his like roof looked at and everything like that. So we got to the moment where we were talking about earlier, where the dad holds it like props his neck up to, like in all their motorcycle drives from like this point on. This specific one is to the chiropractor, or to I think this one's actually to just like a regular doctor that just like gives him a shot. But like there's like just multiple shots of like just them going to doctors now. But the chiropractor one is the one that stood out to me because it's just like. The way he's cracking his neck. If you've ever been to a chiropractor, which I know both me and Danny have, like this, I've never been to one. It's so on point. Everything's so on point.
You're like, is this legit? Like,
I might be honestly.
I'm too scared. I'm gonna get
paralyzed.
Yeah, like.
Well, like what you saying? Like, it looks like he's actually having all this done.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah,
like, he must have hurt his neck. Like, you said he did hurt his neck.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure during the river, or like. During the filming of the river, or before the filming of the river, like kind of what caused it is like he actually did have a neck injury. So that's like kind of what played into it.
Like, because all these are like just brutal watching these. We see him have a few different kind of treatments throughout the movie.
And I do like how in these scenes it's like he does do like kind of long takes for the doctor visits, but it's like he's cutting like kind of quicker in this because it's like showing kind of how the doctors are literally doing nothing. It's like it makes it seem like he's going to them like in this short amount of time, basically, and nothing's happening. Like especially with the chiropractor one, because I've had this before where I went to the chiropractor, And that same day, it didn't get better, and I was like, "Why did I fucking go to the chiropractor then?" Because that's literally, I think he gets his neck cracked, and then him and his dad go eat, and it's just kind of like
his neck is still
like this, and it's just like on the drive over, it's like nothing's changed. It's just like he's probably just thinking like, "Why the fuck did I go to the chiropractor?" To like just get all this shit done, and then they go back to the same chiropractor just a second later for him to get his neck smacked on. Like I don't know what type of medicine that is, or whatever, or like what type of healing that is.
Yeah,
but I do know
that's the thing he takes home, like that little stick.
No,
because I took screenshots, as you guys know.
Yeah.
And there's one where he's like in his bed and he's like rubbing this like stick on it.
No, his mom gives him that.
Oh, his mom gives him that.
Yeah,
but
we'll
anyway,
because it's very funny.
the way his shoulder is so like swollen in that.
Yes.
It's insane, dude. It's like
it's like
that can't be fake. Like, how would you fake that on a person?
it's honestly, I don't know if it's swollen or if he's just like got his like muscle like so protruded out, because it looks like he just has his muscle really protruded out, which is like
you gotta look at this.
Why it like makes you hurt, honestly.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, it just looks like a giant lump, I'm pretty sure.
Right there, yeah, it's like a huge lump right there.
Yeah, dude, like, but I do like this specific one where the doctor is like banging on his neck, because it cuts directly after that to his mom like smacking the fruit to get it open. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
This is the same exact sound. Of the doctor like smacking him up with his finger to like his mom smacking the fruit with the knife to break it open.
I didn't recognize that.
Yeah, no, I mean that's one of the scenes where it's like it goes back to this use of sound that I've talked about so much. But yeah, the next scene is where we're at the house where his mom is cracking the fruit, but she gives him that little wand that you're talking about. And I just call it her vibrator, because that's what I think it is. Like, like that's what it looks like. It's what it sounds like. It's what I think it is. Like her vibrator that she just gave to him. Yeah. Because she starts to try to do it herself first, and then he's like, "Give me that." And then he like takes it, and he actually like really likes it.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because like the next scene in the house is the mom watching porn.
Yeah.
In her room, hearing Kong in the next room with her vibrator like going onto his neck, and you're like, because it sounds like a vibrator. I'm sorry, to me it just sounds like a vibrator.
I think that's
like why would she have that?
Yes, because and like it cuts from like Kong. It cuts to Kong in the next room like doing that to his neck whenever you hear that, and then it cuts to the dad just listening to the vibrator. And you're wondering, like, is he thinking that the wife is, like, just going ham, basically, in her room? Or does he know, like, what's happening right now? Because, like, he's obviously not connected to his family at all.
Damn, honestly.
Because immediately, I've seen it 3 times. I didn't think about this the first couple times either. Because directly after that is the cruising scene. It's like this film's cruising scene to the sauna for the second time, where the guy from Rebels is outside the McDonald's and basically enticing the dad to follow him.
Yeah, dude, this is what I was like. This is a very similar scene in Viva L'Amour.
Yes, the cruising scene in Viva L'Amour.
Yeah, when they're outside. It's almost filmed exactly the same.
It is.
Because I think I said in that movie, but it's like in this one too. It's almost like watching birds mate or something.
Yes.
It's like no talking, and like kind of apart from each other, but just like walking. You know, like that's basically what it looks like.
Yeah. No, it's a great scene. Scene.
So is that what you're trying to like correlate the two? Like you're saying?
Yeah, like he's basically thinking that his wife is like getting off in the other room, or like she's feeling
that's how
something.
She gets off, and
like,
this
is how he gets off, basically.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, that would make
because
sense.
He didn't want the sex earlier in the movie. Whenever the old man came into his room.
Yeah.
But now he's perfectly happy to get himself jerked off by
and it's just interesting use of this guy too. Like it's like Tsai's like reusing the same characters, and it's kind of like Ozu.
Yeah, it is. Like Ozu for sure.
Sometimes the actors are almost playing like identical roles, and then sometimes they're playing like almost opposite roles, or like especially this guy. He uses him in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, he's used him in all 3 of these first ones that we've seen, and like I said in Vive, at the very end of that movie. You don't know fully if like he's aware that Kong is like laying in the bed with him, although it kind of like feels like he might be. Yeah. And this kind of just maybe he's playing the exact same character. He's like, I mean, he's kind of playing the same character anyway, like you said already. Like he's doing the exact same scene that he did with May and Vive, but with the dad in this one.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like maybe it's just showing the other side of him too. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
because like we never find out this guy's name. I'm pretty sure in this one, he's just in here. He's just kind of like a ghost. Because he comes back in we'll see him next week too. Yeah, we'll see him
that's
next
place
week
he goes too.
Yeah, he does. He has the cruising scene in that.
Damn, I'm really hoping I like that, dude. Goodbye. I'm gonna watch Dragon.
You
will like
it. It's on Criterion.
Yeah, watch Dragon In before you watch it.
Yeah,
what's it on?
It's on Criterion.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's on
I'll watch
Criterion.
it before. Yeah.
Yeah, because
But yeah, I mean, this is the first sex scene in the movie. So like, after this cruising scene happens, like, we see the dad like actually getting jerked off in the bathhouse, and he's like trying to be a little too pushy, and he doesn't like that, so he just gets up and leaves basically, because the dad just has to have this blowjob.
Yeah.
But
I mean, and I'm pretty sure Tsai like got labeled, like I think we talked about like him being like sort of unpopular like in Taiwan, but like I think a large part of that is due to like the graphic nature of this movie and the way it cloud. Because I think I watched an interview with him where he said that like after The River came out, he was like called like he was thought of as like a pervert basically, like
I mean, I could see it, like, that's why I wanted to ask you guys what that, the encounter means later on, because if you just see if you just watch it directly, you could be like, oh, this guy likes watching, why is he doing this? If you don't know what Tsai is trying to do or whatever. That's
especially with how long he holds on things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But
well, you saying that, sorry, go ahead, keep going.
I'll say in context of Tsai, what he's trying to do generally with the thematically in his movies, like it does make more sense.
No, definitely. And like, but you saying that, at least for how you started it, about how Tsai is not liked in Taiwan, or how, and we've been talking about that. It reminds me how, like, Buñuel, when he was making movies in Mexico, he wasn't liked in Mexico at the time. And the main reason was, like, Los Olvidados was, like, hated in Mexico. And the reason is because people in Mexico didn't like that he was showing that side of Mexico. They wanted him to show, like, the good sides of Mexico.
And he also...
And it's very similar, I think, with Tsai.
Was it also because he was...
Like, with both these movies. Like, look what he's showing these kind of... these different shadier sides of, at least shadier in a good context. So I don't think Tsai sees them as shady necessarily.
No, he just
it's
sees
more
them
like
as the real
just
sides,
other people,
or like,
just different types of people that live in Taipei. But like if you're trying to show a good image of the country or the city, you wouldn't want to show what he's showing, and I think that's why he's not liked in his home country as much. The same way as like
was also
and that's true with a lot of directors around the world that are trying to show like what
the
it's
reality
actually,
of life.
or a certain more, usually less poorer, more downtrodden society.
Was also I was curious about Buñuel. Was he also because he was critical of like bourgeoisie, like upper class?
But like think about how direct Los Olvidados is.
Okay,
it feels more like a style. Like it's like very like. He's literally showing like poor kids that are like it's just very direct about it, Some of later Buñuel's movies are very indirect, but
okay, that's good.
Like the whole is very direct, it's like it's hard to ignore that. Even except for the musicals are kind of fun, but we'll get to that. This one is direct too, but I don't know.
It's direct but very vague too. You can definitely read it as just a pervert.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like. If you're out of context, you could just be like, this guy's a pervert,
Yeah.
Which it depends on how you define pervert. But
I don't think he's a pervert. I just think he's definitely interested. He's just definitely like to answer your question. I think it's just him talking about like, obviously in both of the movies up to this point, he's been talking about like how the big city has caused loneliness and how like
modern society,
how modern society has like caused this like loneliness that we can't overcome basically, or like. To overcome it, it's like this, like it's loneliness, but you can have like fleeting emotions, but nothing ever like no true connection.
It's too big of an obstacle.
Yes. That's why it's like to me, it's like everything is transactional at best. And it's like a lot of characters trying to search for something more. And
that's what the river feels like in this one. It feels like that sauna is like them searching for something more. Almost.
But it's like literally a transactional place.
Yes,
at best.
No, yeah.
And that's why you could see like that kind of encounter is almost like it's a very weird encounter because it is a family. Yeah.
Or honestly, it's maybe not even like looking for something more, but just like escaping from their reality because like he definitely doesn't want to. Like I know there's a scene close to the very end of the. I mean, like the good thing about the end of this movie is like the sauna scenes, like, they're so long that, like, it feels like you're only watching, like, 5 minutes, but it's, like, 30 minutes to me. Like the last 30 minutes are basically, like, the sauna and then, like, everything that happens afterwards, or at least the last 20
That's
minutes.
That's a very Viva L'Amour similarity, too, where, like, the last 30 minutes are, like, very, like 2 or 3 scenes. Like,
Yeah.
But there's literally a scene of, like, him saying, I don't want to live anymore. So it's just, like, he might just be trying to escape his current reality by going to the sauna, just to see what happens, almost. Because we see at least, like, the next thing we have on this after that sex scene is, like, Kong actually walks in. It's whenever he actually dressed in that fire green button-down shirt for the first time, walks across the skywalk on the neon with the neon lights behind him. But he actually enters the sauna for the first time in this scene. And then he walks right back out. Because he actually walks right past the guy from Rebels. I'll just call him Jung because that's what we call him.
I think his name is Chang.
Chang.
The actor's name is Chang.
The actor's name is Chang. Yeah, so he just, like, walks right past him because he's, like, walking out. He's walking out of the sauna and Kong walks in. But then Kong walks directly back out afterwards. So, like, it's almost like he's not ready to go in there yet, basically. Like, he hasn't gotten to that point almost.
He hasn't had that breakdown.
Yeah.
It's pretty close.
No, because we're close. I mean, it's like literally almost directly next. Because we have, like, acupuncture scenes. But
that's what I wanted to mention. Because this,
so good.
This close-up of him getting, like, one by one. Like, and this is where, like... Where Tsai's non-cutting is, like, really, like... this is, like, to me, better than any horror movie. Because it's, like, you're actually watching, like, this hand in close-up, and it's not moving when you even want to turn away.
Yeah.
I'm just, like, needles going over and over again. But then, to me, anyway, it hangs on it so long. It actually does start to become even soothing a little bit watching it. Where you're, like, after you get over that initial pain of, like, he's having needles stuck in, you're like, okay, maybe this will make him feel better. And it's like, okay, he has, like, 20 in him in his hand at this point. Like...
Yeah, to me, I was just like, the needles might take the pain away for a little second, but not forever.
The first few are, like, brutal to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Because I hate needles.
Another thing I was just thinking is, like, this fucking lion-ass doctor, man. Like, one more, guy, one more. Don't worry, fucking 10 more later. One more.
Oh, my God.
Just, like, going,
it's
like,
not
one more
It's not like
again.
they can't like, get up and move.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it's just like...
He's got a bunch of needles in him. I'm like, what is he going to do? Like,
yeah, no, that is a great point, though, because we have... I think that we've mentioned that Tsai said in interviews that he wants to actually show his character going through the experiences they're going through. Because we've already said that about the chiropractor in this one, too. Like, it actually looks like he was in a real chiropractor getting his neck cracked in that scene. But, like, Tsai said, if his character smokes 5 cigarettes, he wants them to show... He wants to actually show him smoking 5 cigarets.
Yeah.
And not just, like, cut away. So that just is another...
Or the crying scene at the end of Viva
Or the crying scene of Viva L'Amour,
yeah.
But after the acupuncture scenes, his health's just deteriorating to the point where he decides to check himself into a hospital, basically. Or we don't know who decides it. It seems like it's him because his parents don't really know he's there.
Or they come after.
Yeah, they just come after. So, because I know his dad calls the mom and said, your son's in the hospital. Tell him his son's in the hospital. And then they go to the hospital and walk directly past him. And it's like such a sad scene.
Yeah, that's a sad one, yeah.
It's what makes him break, obviously.
Just little moments like that.
And we talked about Tsai as like the master of the breakdown scenes. Because he's so good.
Damn, is that when he starts crying too?
Yeah, it's when he starts crying.
Yeah, but like
after they walk past him.
Yeah.
But like Tsai's so good at break. Like, I mean, we talked about Viva L'Amour last week. The obvious breakdown scene at the end. The release. Like this scene, the scene in Stray Dogs.
Yeah.
There's probably other ones, but those are like he's really good at them. I think a lot of that is because of how long he holds on stuff as well. He lets like the emotions just play out on screen.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't like try and cut.
No talking or very little talking.
Yeah.
Like definitely no talking.
He makes you sit with it, really. I think that's what makes it like when his characters break down, it makes it so like affecting.
No, yeah. I mean, this scene specifically, it's just so heartbreaking because he does look different, obviously. But it just goes to... I mean, Tsai's trying to prove a greater point of, like, his parents don't know who he is, obviously.
Yeah.
If they came and recognized him with his bald head, basically.
Yeah.
Like, if he has to have his hair for his parents to recognize him as they walk past, like, do your parents even know you at that point?
Yeah.
You know?
And more just, like, that feeling of loneliness, you know? Like, even your parents are just walking by you. Just, like, that moment, like, damn.
And it is kind of like...
depressing.
It is kind of, like... paralleled with like the ending almost of like the dad and him at the very end of the movie, because like the dad can't even like notice him or like he doesn't know who he is basically, even in this fully lit like hospital, because the hospital is like fully lit. It's one of the brightest scenes in the movie because it's just like there's not a dark spot in the room. basically.
Yeah.
But the dad walks straight past him in that light, and then we see the shot of later on, like whenever they're both in the room in the sauna together, like it's completely dark in there. Like,
Yeah.
Oh man.
like if the dad can't even recognize him in the light, how's he gonna recognize him?
Honestly,
in
I
the
didn't
dark?
even connect those two. Like the dad not recognize him in both scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, and then the mom going to the elevator right.
Yeah, that's
after
right
this,
after that. Yeah, the mom goes to the elevator. And yeah, that's you can read that scene a lot of different ways because I like your reading of it a lot too. Like I didn't see it that way of her just like going there as like just to like that's her escape from the world almost. But it does I like that reading. To me, it was just like showing how trapped she feels honestly because like that's literally her job is just like going to the floor that her restaurant's on and going to the bottom floor to see if there's anyone there. And if there's not.
Yeah.
You gotta keep on going back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
It just seems like such a play. It just feels like she's trapped. Yeah. But after we get that part, it's now the dad's turn basically to take the son to the Buddhist monk. Mm-hmm. So they go. I think this is whenever they actually travel out of Taipei.
They go somewhere.
They go somewhere out of Taipei. I don't think we know exactly what. But they actually have to like stay in the hotel because the god didn't come to the
They had to stay because the god didn't come that night.
Yeah, he didn't come that night. Which they stay at this hotel. I'm pretty sure 2 days. But this is where the movie like really just kind of like slows down to like especially if it's your first time watching. You're like, why am I not why am I watching this? But it's like this is typical Tsai. Like. Yeah. Whenever the movie's basically supposed to like be going up, he like brings it all the way down. Yeah. He's like, no, the tension. We'll just let the tension even simmer further under the surface, basically. Yes. So a few things in my notes that I have while they're at the hotel, like a prostitute arrives in the next room. Whenever Kong's like filling up his water. It's really funny
when he can't. She's just like staring. It's like it's honestly like a true thing about human nature, like. We probably would stare at people if they couldn't like see us. Like if they didn't have peripheral vision, we probably just would stare at people.
You can also read it as like
because you just stare at the whole time because he can't. He has wearing that huge neck brace, so he can't think behind him.
He
can't like look like.
But you can also see that as like us watching Li Kangsheng.
Well, no, but that's what I was gonna say because he literally does the exact same thing once they go back in their room. He starts like it's like the classic voyeur. He has to have a voyeuristic sex scene in this movie.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's like so I mean, like Li Kangsheng's about to do the exact same thing to him too. Yeah. But still, like it's just a funny shot because he's like filling up water and doesn't even know anyone's watching him. Like.
Yeah. And he doesn't even really. I mean, he might suspect it a little bit, but he doesn't like.
But the fact that she's just staring at it the whole time, like.
No, yeah, it's definitely the voyeur turning into the person being seen though, for this scene at least, but because he does try to listen to him, which is it's a really funny scene, but it also shows how he's like. Kind of just extremely lonely too.
Oh, it's like it's very depressing him in this room, just like barely able to move, and just
like he's just like you're feeling like he's obviously trapped in this room.
Yeah, because we even get some shots of like the dad walking. At least he's the dad like, getting to walk out.
No, we have. I'm pretty sure during these scenes we have the dad's like long take, like whenever he's just following him, like on the tracking shot on the part.
Yeah, exactly. It's like almost like it's like making you jealous for
for Kong.
For Kong, it's just in that dark room.
No, it's so good. And then what's funny is like we have all this cut like with the dad and everything, and Kong being stuck in his room, listening to this prostitute cut with the mom at her lover's place, where he must be working in the porn industry somewhat because he's got a shit ton of porn tapes playing in the background. Mm-hmm. But like she's so lonely that she's trying to literally throw herself on top of this man whenever like sex is literally happening in the background of the scene, and he's just like, no, man, I'm good. Out, no, not even passed out. He's just like, get off me, basically. Like, he just doesn't want to pay attention to her at all.
Yeah.
Like he's just completely ignoring.
Was he watching the porn in this scene?
No, he's not watching. He's like,
it's just playing.
He's asleep. Yeah, it's just playing in the background.
Okay. And she starts watching it.
Yeah.
Okay. Just another sad, depressing. Just another depressing scene.
The first of many Tsai watching porn movies, or like,
yeah, we're gonna get more.
Yeah, I guess we have the other ones don't have them yet.
No, not yet. Yeah, the whole.
Actually, Rebels does. There's porn.
Rebels
on TV.
does have. It does have porn. Yeah. Classic.
We're gonna see Wayward Cloud. Wayward Cloud.
Wayward Cloud goes off. Yeah, it goes off. And now we come to the.
Actually, Viva L'Amour does too.
Does it?
Chang. He has a magazine.
Oh, yeah, porn magazine. Yeah.
Because I'm positive all of them have to. Like, at least one point. So far they all do. I don't know if the whole does.
I don't think the hole has porn. I don't think it
I don't
does.
recall it, but maybe as we go through it, we might remember something.
Yeah, but now we come to the encounter. So
Yeah.
So Kong enters the sauna.
Which this is like the moment.
You are right.
moment.
The sauna's like kind of darker, like more.
Yeah. Oh
yellowish in
yeah.
this
Yeah.
one.
No, that's why I love it so much. Like I like my notes in this one is just the lighting, atmosphere, cinematography, everything in the scenes are perfect. Like he's basically accepted that he doesn't want to. At least he wants to escape from the reality he's living right now. So he entered this place, and it looks like he's in a myth. Like I know that. The shot that I want to use for the podcast still on YouTube,
Yeah, that's
but
what
I think what we're gonna use is literally like Luke mentioned it off air. Like it looks like a Greek statue almost, and it's kind of what this feels like to me because like Tsai does love mythology, like we've already talked about all his like how like his Buddhist like leanings and everything like that, and how like his like the Buddhist like natures he puts into his movies, and this is just another like one that where he's at least trying to make it feel
something like
different than real life,
like
different than real life at least.
Yes.
Because it really is just like it's just beautiful. Because the slow walk back, like he makes you wait for the actual encounter too. Because he like slowly walks back.
Oh, the walk through the like. When he's like looking through the doors, as we talked about earlier and stuff.
Yeah, because like. Yeah, we talked about this earlier. Like to me, it's just become comedic to this point because like I just think it's so funny. Everyone like there are so many people in this sauna trying to find a room to be in, and it's just like you can read that as obviously it's like really depressing. Like no one can find a place where they belong, which is probably how Tsai wanted to be read. But at this point, I'm just like, this is just funny, man. Like get a room. No, but he actually does find a room. And then the same thing that he's been doing to everyone else gets done to him, basically, where like everyone's just opening up this first room that he walks into, you know? Like they just keep on opening up the door, seeing him in, and they walk out. And you don't really know what this means, honestly. Like you're wondering if he wants something to happen, or if he doesn't. I don't know if
it's like, to me, is it like people are rejecting him?
Yeah, like that's why I was like basically asking.
I don't know how
like,
these work exactly. I don't know
how these work.
I don't know. That's why I read it.
I read it that way too because like then he ends up locking the door after getting walked out on a couple times because we don't like if you're watching this the first time, you know for sure that the dad's had sex in the sauna before. But you don't know if Kong wants anything like that even. Like you don't know if he just wants to be in here just to be in here to like get away or if he
someone else
wants something else.
Yeah.
Because like you can read this first like scene as like him locking the door is just like I don't want these people like opening my door. Like stop opening my door, please. Or you can just read it like he's finally done with like everyone rejecting him basically. Because directly after that we get the slow walk to the actual room where we're going to be in. That's why I said he like takes his time with this because he like leads you to the first room where nothing happens and then he walks you to the different room where the lighting in this scene is just even better. But yeah, he's like trying every doorknob and they're all locked and then he finds the one doorknob that's not.
And then he goes in.
Yeah. And then he goes in, he just goes in and gets jerked off by his dad. Yeah, gets jerked off by his dad.
Happens to the best of us.
I hope not.
Luke, do you have anything to say?
But I will say this: it's really interesting what happens after this whole cut and reveal. Because, like, what do you even think it means? Like, we see the mom, like, she's in her house, and she goes and sees a leak. Is it their sink leaking or something?
No. This is the.
Leaking.
This is where I was saying like I think this movie is really funny because we know the son and father just had sex in the sauna. And then it just hard cuts to the mom sitting all by herself in the apartment. And you're just like... To me, I just laughed this time. Because I was like, what? She's just sitting there all by herself, just like with her head on her hands. And I'm just like... Well,
you're like it makes
does she
you
know?
Think, no, but it makes you think, like, damn, what if she knew, right?
Yeah,
now?
exactly.
Like
she's just sitting here not so nonchalant in my head. I was like, is she just going like, I wonder where my father and son are? Like, but yeah, but we found out, like, the dad's, his whole, like, the system he rigged to, like, keep the water from leaking onto his bed has fallen at the exact moment that they finished, basically.
So she walks in and sees the, like, leak happening. Yeah. And then it cuts back to the father turning on the light. Yeah. And seeing his son there. So
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Which him
sucks
not
to be him.
Sucks to be him. They both
honestly,
realize
it's kind of like an old boy
mistake.
moment.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? An old
yeah,
boy?
yeah. Honestly, yeah, that's a.
What are some of the incest moments in cinema?
There's some
The
incest
incest-
moments in cinema. There's one from Up on Puppy Hill.
Oh, the scare,
The
the
brother and
incest
sister.
scare. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Incest scare.
The incest, when he
They aren't actually brother and sister, but they think they might be for a little
Yeah,
bit.
that
You
whole
remember
thing,
that?
like-
Wait.
and come on.
I don't
You don't
remember
remember
this at
that?
all.
The Goro Miyazaki
Yeah.
movie?
He like scares you with it for like
He
most of
scares
the
you.
movie. And then
It
you're
literally
like,
does
never
feel
mind.
like that,
Just kidding. Like
That's the one Blake likes, right?
I didn't hate it as much as the first time I watched it. This time,
You might need to do a Tales of Earthsea revisit on.
yeah, you didn't believe that.
No, I didn't.
I could tell. Anyway,
but yeah, this scene of the dad figuring out that was his son is like it's really good because it's just like how did you not realize this was your son before?
like yeah, I mean, like you probably could tell with like his neck. and
The neck
everything,
movements,
like,
exactly.
This is what the whole movie's been telling us.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
they're so like disconnected from each other that they're
Yeah.
basically strangers to
Exactly.
Yeah,
begin
that's
with.
my point.
And like, but why do you think he intercuts this mother finding out about the leak in between this?
I think it also just kind of plays into the disconnected nature of the family because it feels like the dad never told the mom that his roof was leaking. He just jerry-rigged this thing, basically. Mm-hmm. And so whenever it happens, the mom's like surprised, and so she goes up and actually fixes the problem. But like I don't know, it's just like they're more so strangers in their own house still. Like
Oh yeah, like she never knew about this.
yeah,
until
she
now.
like basically never knew
But, like,
about it. But
That one I can definitely see, but why do you think he? Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. How you were saying that? I'll remember in a second. No, like, okay, keep going. I'll remember.
I mean, so they still have to share a bed together. Is my next notes because they still have to share a bed together in the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
the night after their night is like very very awkward because like you see the dad like taking his clothes off and sitting down on the bed and Kong's like pretending to be asleep and then it cuts to, like a close up of his face on the other side just going like oh god like he just like
Oh, this is what I was gonna remember. This is what I remember. Do you think either one of them knew that it was the other person during this encounter?
No.
Till after, because the father slaps him
yeah
after he turns on the light, like Li Kongsheng knew or something. Because like he acts like he would have known walking into the room second. But
I feel like the
initial
shot
is like none of them. Neither
No,
one of
they
them
both-
know.
they
because
both
he
know,
initially
but-
the
And the
initial
father,
shot is like from like has the father being like you can't really see him
in the
very well.
shadows.
So I'm presuming
Yeah,
that's
so
kind of how
neither
Li
one of them
Shang
knew,
was.
so neither one of them
entering
knew kind of
the-
And maybe that's how these bathhouses work in the first place.
Yeah.
Maybe, but
Like if maybe
But-
if the light's on, it means no go, and if the light's off,
or
it
like
means-
you're supposed to not see the other person or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty
That's
sure
how
that's
it's
what
saying.
they.
Um,
yeah.
But like the way I thought it might be read, and this might be pushing it, but like her like you saying finding out about this leak in the house could be seen as maybe almost like a metaphor or something as like the dad has abused the son in the past or something.
Wait.
I mean,
Like, why would he put the scene there? Like her finding out about this in that moment, with like it just like it's almost random. Like why he would put finding out about some truth about the family or something right in that moment.
I don't know. No, I don't know why he put the mom being there. To me, I just think I honestly am just starting to buy in that Tsai's just way more funny than people give him credit for because that scene to me was extremely funny.
So you just see it's like funny how like.
Like literally whenever he cuts like.
But so do you think the mother knows though that something happened with them or
no? That's why I think it's funny.
Okay.
Well, maybe it's like Tsai's like making fun of the fact the father would rather have sex with his son than his wife.
Basically,
Maybe in that moment,
honestly,
or something to do with that. Like,
because they obviously don't have a good relationship, but like I don't know if I've gotten from their relationship before that the father's abused the son, but
yeah, I just think
Yeah,
they're
no.
just being disconnected.
yeah, just
I think it's just more to be like almost not like kind of like absurd, like
okay.
that because it's already kind of absurd that this
I
happens.
can see
but
that more than that.
and then like just cut to the mom all by herself at the apartment.
And then
But like the tension at this point has been released. That's why I think the water releasing in there in the apartment is like the tension in the movie has been released because obviously the tension that's been building up between them two has been released at this point. But now it's just all uncomfortable.
No, exactly.
But and even Li Kong-shin's neck movements and stuff seems to get like less aggressive after this moment. It feels like
they're not as. You don't think he's as much pain after this?
I don't think he's in as much pain, but I mean, you also don't know because like the next thing that happens is, I mean, we've already talked about them going to sleep, having to share the same bed, but he calls the Buddhist monk again the next morning, and then I really thought I thought the phrasing was hilarious because the monk was like, God came to see me. He said, "Go see the doctors in Taipei and don't come back."
Damn.
And I just thought the phrasing was so funny in that.
But you can see the dad like reading like his omen too.
Yeah, exactly. Because like
they know what happened.
Like
exactly.
they literally know what happened.
Yeah.
Which maybe what you were saying is right. Like maybe the mom does know what happened now.
That's why I think there's like it feels there's like some kind of weird. Maybe not direct abuse, but there's something weird like. The mom doesn't know about something between the father and son kind of relationship, like she like doesn't know about something between them, and that would almost make sense because of their distance, like they show now.
Yeah.
Like, because like think about how the movie ends too, like literally, I think it's like I don't know if he's going to commit suicide or not, but it's like very implied maybe that he might commit suicide. Of him like walking out the.
I mean he's already attempted suicide.
Yeah, he's already attempted it once. So. Yeah, and like after all this stuff that's just happened,
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a way to read it, is that he might want to attempt suicide. To me, it's like, I don't want to say it's like hopeful, but it feels almost more hopeful because it like ends with him basically escaping out or like not like escaping, but like escaping the room he was trapped in.
Yeah.
Out onto the balcony, and he's like looking up at the sky at the very end. It's just like a shot.
So you don't think
he's
even from the beginning, you didn't think he was like, I guess you've seen it 3 times now, but watching this first time, I definitely thought like, at least we were supposed to think in our head, even if he's not actually going to do it, that he might do it. Because like he walks out and he walks to the side, like we don't see his body, and all we hear is the traffic noises. So I just thought like, oh, here we're going to hear a thud, like similar to like the body falling in like the water at the beginning or something.
Yeah.
Like I thought we were just going to hear a thud all of us, or like people screaming or something. And it does seem kind of hopeful then when we see his body come back out, like a few not minutes, but it's like, I don't know. Side time is like weird, so it's like
it is weird.
after some moments, so he walks back
After
into the frame,
moments.
and I think that's how the movie ends.
No, yeah,
After
that's
he
why I
walks back
said
into
the
frame.
exact ending is like he's looking up. It's almost the ending of like Rebels, basically, except we don't follow the camera. Like the ending of Rebels is like pans up to the sky, and this one it's like the light is hitting Kong's face, like, and he's just looking up right at the sky. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. That's why I say it's like kind of a hopeful ending to me, almost, because he's escaped this room he felt trapped in for the last.
I don't think he ever
movie,
does he ever live there? Maybe in the later movies.
Live at the hotel.
Oh, is he at the hotel in the scene?
Yeah, this is the hotel in the scene. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he's like escaping from his parents, because I don't know if he ever lives with his parents after.
I don't think he does after this.
So maybe that's something, but
I know that I'm pretty sure this apartment is in some of Tsai's movies still, but I don't think they're all living together.
Yeah, so maybe that's.
Either way, it does feel like the middle of something. Like
yeah,
it makes sense to watch the future movies, see what happens, kind of thing. Almost.
Yeah, basically.
Like
yeah.
No, but that's why initially I did think like at least we're supposed to think he might commit suicide in that moment, like the way it's filmed. But
yeah,
maybe I can see the hopeful ending. His body just appearing out all of a sudden, like it's like hopeful in that way.
Yeah. Well, it's more so just like the lighting and like
the way it's filmed. Yeah,
the way it's filmed feels hopeful to me almost, because it's like he doesn't, for this entire movie at least, like we've opened the window a couple times, like they opened the window a couple times, and we just thought it was a window. We didn't know it was like a doorway. And so like whenever he figures out that it's actually a balcony, then he can open up and actually get out of the room. It feels like almost like an escape.
It's like freeing.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it really is just the way it's like lit and film and like actually shot that makes me think that too. But I can also see the suicide thing because he also did try to commit suicide before. Like it was another one of the half-hard suicide attempts that we have from Vive L'Amour where he actually.
This is where I need to bring up again. You need to watch Mouchette. That's all I'll say.
I do need to watch it.
It's only 8 minutes, Blake. It's only 8 minutes.
It's only 80 minutes, Blake. But
it's on his side sound list. Come on.
But yeah, that is The River. So great movie. I really liked it a lot. It's one that honestly.
Good first date
you'll end up liking it a lot more. Probably.
Good movie to watch with the parents.
No,
Good movie to watch
don't
with the
watch
parents. Highly recommend watching this
Yeah.
with parents. I think you'll end up liking this more on rewatches, Danny.
I probably
Laughing
will,
with me. But that's what I'll say with a lot of size movies is they've gotten a lot better.
Nice.
That's true with all great movies, so that's why I say.
Yeah. Do you want to take a break? Or?
Yeah, we can take a break.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh calypso, oh calypso， 我蹦蹦跳跳爱 calypso。Oh calypso, oh calypso， 你不要说我太辛苦，扭呀扭呀扭呀扭呀跳 calypso。这模样就像那雄鸡在走路。它把翅膀摇，脖子上高声欢呼。我跟着它进一步，又退一步。我扭呀扭，不清清楚楚。我有心事不用对人细倾诉。只要鼓声响，身体晃，心里舒服，我就可以忘掉了整天。
And we're back from the break with The Hole, 1998. Honestly, this is like a movie way ahead of its time, or like
It's aged extremely.
it's
well.
aged extremely well. Had a lot of foresight, which I mean, honestly, Tsai understanding the loneliness that people feel inherently leads him to like having that type of foresight into like what a global pandemic could do. Honestly,
Yeah, but I was gonna bring this up is that I don't even think it's aged well in the pandemic it's obviously it's not the pandemic context is not the only way it's aged well. I was thinking like the internet too, and like online relationships because
Yeah.
in this movie the two people they form this like relationship. It's like the story of their relationship, but they don't even like interact with each other in the flesh at all
Not really.
until the end.
yeah. I mean,
Basically.
they see
each
have,
other.
They have they see each other and they do interact actually at his shop or whatever.
Oh, do they actually? Okay, I don't remember. But you
But
see,
it's just like she's
but
just there.
the
telling
general
him,
idea
like,
is they're like they
Yeah.
basically don't know each other like really like in the flesh, but they
Yeah.
like they're aware of each other. Like it's very much like kind of like people like start relationships online, like friendly, like romantic, like it's kind of like with the modern world that's like a more common thing now. I feel like that was a big.
No, it
That's a
definitely
way
has
it's
aged well
aged well
that way
now.
too.
Yeah, but yeah, the pandemic too, obviously.
I mean, yeah, that's just like the obvious connection,
yeah.
or at least for like why everyone probably loves it, especially after the pandemic, because we've all experienced this, at least something like the loneliness they're feeling in this movie.
Yes.
But I mean, even the opening dialogue to the movie is like very, very much like what we've gotten from the pandemic. But before we get into that, let me ask you guys your opinions on this, because this is I'm pretty sure all these movies from here on out you haven't seen, right, Danny?
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I've
so-
seen Journey to the West.
And goodbye.
Yeah, well, we're not
And
doing
Goodbye
that
Dragon
one,
Inn.
but-
I've seen Goodbye.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Gave 3
Remember,
stars.
because I gave
Yeah, he hated it,
a
yeah.
lower rating than
He hated it,
normal.
yeah.
That's all.
He hated it.
Your opinion on Tsai Ming-liang is revoked until you hire that.
You gave A Woman in Paris 3 stars.
That is also very
Oh,
interesting.
what? It's,
Think about all the movies that
I
inspired.
have it as a heart on Letterboxd.
No.
Anyway, yeah, the whole amazing. I'm a big musical guy, so
Yes.
obviously, like, it really surprised me the first time I watched this. Like,
Oh, it surprised me the first
yeah,
time.
I was like, wait, what? Like, I didn't know Psy. Because like you don't think Psy would go down the musical route. I feel like. I mean, if you're like following him from the beginning of his career, do you think like, is there anything that would make you think that he would go down this?
I think his use of sound specifically in his movies and his technique in terms of framing and lighting, you could definitely see him doing a musical well.
Okay.
But I don't know.
I don't know if you
people
would
were
expect
expecting
it though. Yeah, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's there's something about like the kind of like these musicals. Like I guess we're gonna talk about like what we think the purpose of the musicals are, why Tsai didn't put them in there. But I kind of saw it as like a escape from whatever was happening, like almost like a daydream in a way.
Yeah. That's definitely
yeah.
one.
So I will say I love this movie.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But it just because it's like it has a lot of size elements of his earlier movies, and that's why these musical numbers just feel so much like they just feel amazing. Like
They do.
all of a sudden in between them.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen a lot of musicals in general, like especially classic Hollywood musicals. But I have seen like a decent amount of movies from India, and like those are musicals too in their own way. And the way he uses songs in this one are almost like Bollywood movies in a lot of ways, where it's like the action going on in a scene,
Yeah.
and the music is so jarring. It's like almost like completely opposite in some ways.
Yeah.
Where it's like maybe in a more traditional musical, like the music is like part of the narrative, kind of. This is just like almost like is the exact opposite, especially towards the first couple, where they're all of a sudden, where it's like we see them like how depressing their lives are in their own apartments, and then all of a sudden it cuts to her singing,
Yeah.
and it's just like. It's like illogical. It's like a movie. It has to be a movie,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
'Cause,
Especially because the characters themselves are like dressed up very glamorously.
yeah, it's a very
but then the
different-
background
But
is
that's
like,
what I was going to point out,
Yeah.
and like why I think it's kind of not a musical fully is the backgrounds, why I think it's still a side movie. It's like it's still filmed in the very depressing background.
Like lap dance, buildings and everything.
Yeah, it's not like where even in a Bollywood movie, all of a sudden they would cut, but it's a new location. Like all of a sudden they'll be in India the whole movie, and then all of a sudden the musicals will take place like they'll be in they'll be in mountains in like the Alps
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something,
yeah.
or they'll be in Russia. Like all of a sudden, just that's how logical the music will be. And this one is kind of like that, but they're still in the same place. And he's like really making you focus on. I think what Luke was saying is. This is like the music is literally an escape, or at least try to
Yeah.
escape from this world.
It's like a dream.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a dream, or at least some kind of. At least I think it's supposed to express that they're trying to escape, and maybe successfully because
Yeah,
that's
musical
how
numbers
that's what
are
the
very-
music is good.
and musical numbers are like the musical numbers of a musical are very good at expressing that.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
And I do think, because I also was like, as I was writing my notes out for this, I was like writing in my notes. I don't really know why I put this there, but whenever I was reading them over again, it's like we'll get to it obviously as we talk through the movie. But some of the musical numbers are like foreshadowing almost for what happens next. Almost is like kind of what it seems like. It's like it's
that's
almost
also
like
a
they
Bollywood
might-
thing,
Oh yeah.
like where you'll see, like the song, like you'll see the male and female introduced, and they'll only look at each other or barely even see each other. And the first song, they'll actually be like kind of more flirting than they are in real life in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's like the songs are a little ahead of the movie,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's American musicals do that too.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I can see that just being a musical
but-
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that's like yeah, I don't remember where I was going with that anymore. It's fine. It'll come back to me at some point, maybe.
But maybe while you're thinking of that, I read this interview that he did like in I think the same year or the year after The Hole came out about this movie, and one of the questions he got asked was what was the significance of the song and dance numbers, and he said two things that stuck out was he said it was like he saw the musical numbers as a statement of the inner world, especially of the female character.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
these songs are almost like her inner world expressed.
Yeah, it feels
throughout
like
the
that
movie.
for sure.
And then what I really also liked was he says, quote, on another level, the musical numbers are weapons that I use to confront the environment at the end of the millennium, which is, a good way to look at it too. Because this movie was made, like, I think
Yeah.
he was asked to make this as a kind of like, I think it was some series or something they were doing about end of the millennium movies, that kind of feeling or something.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like he said music was that kind of one of his responses to that, which is,
Yeah.
I think that makes the Grace Chang kind of maybe, he's kind of telling us the significance of her on him, I think,
Yes,
basically.
for sure.
and Maybe,
Just the influence that she had on like everyone in China.
but that's
And,
true
like,
for everyone,
and
dude.
all
No
the
matter where
Chinese
you are in the
provinces.
world, like you'll hear people humming music,
Oh, yeah.
while they're working, or they go home and they'll listen to music. Like it's a very like personal part of people's lives. In a way, they do escape even like little moments, and it's something I've like you notice with a lot of directors. You can notice that too. Like the way they use music is like almost like like I think I pointed this out with the Bresson's The Devil Probably. But
Yeah.
like when he's about to commit suicide, like he's about to go
Yeah.
die, and then for a second he hears music playing through the window, and he stops to listen to it, and you think like that might stop him for a moment,
Yeah.
and then he still goes. But like
Yeah.
it's just that moment though that music can actually stop you, or you make
Yeah,
make
we
you
talk
not.
about Rio Bravo. Like that's the
Rio Bravo.
that's
Yeah, that's
why
what I
you
brought
brought
up.
it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
Rio
moment
Bravo,
Rio
same
Bravo.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
But yeah, like because But it's so different because Tsai doesn't have these moments in any of these other movies, like this kind of fantastical.
Well, not yet.
Or not yet. Okay, all right, interesting.
Wayward Cloud goes off the rails, honestly, with some of these.
So you're saying he goes
Yeah,
more
yeah.
Fellini-esque in his career from more neorealistic?
Definitely.
Just
Visage.
he has a couple, yeah.
Visage is very.
He has a couple in
yes.
the 2010s. Well, was Visage 2010?
Visage is 2008.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he has a couple in the aughts where he uses these musical numbers again, but
Yeah.
the vast majority though he still doesn't. So, but no, it's what I actually do remember is like they're taking like kind of what they get from these dreams or whatever, like these escape from reality. Like she's kind of like taking it and actually making like using it basically in the next scenes is kind of what it feels like that's where I was actually trying to go with that point. But I mean, I guess we can go ahead and get into it. I guess I should give my opinions. I mean, I also love the whole. This is my I think it was my third time seeing it again, and each time it's gotten better. Each time it's actually like with most of the movies as we've been watching these through, and as I've seen them a lot more, it's gotten a lot funnier.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a funny movie again.
This one I was definitely. I haven't noticed the first time watching it. It's funny.
Yeah.
Especially the fact the virus that's going around is like turning people into cockroaches, and you see in that one scene, it's like
That's actually a great scene to talk about that we'll get to, but that's one of the scenes where I was actually thinking like he would make a great horror director, which is whenever Dave brought that up whenever we were talking about the river with him like holding on the needles going into the hand. Like I really wanted to bring it up then, but I knew we'd get to it. But like I think Tsai would be a really good horror director. Because like that the scene of whenever Kong sees the cockroach or the guy acting like a cockroach for the first time, like crawling into the hole in the wall. You guys remember that big hole in the wall that he just like looks into?
Yes.
It's done so well, like in such a horror style where he's just like looking into this dark hole, and then you just see his reaction.
Such a weird moment.
Oh, it's really good.
Just the sounds of like his like walking on the like ground too.
Yeah. No, yeah.
There's definitely moments in side movies where like if he was a horror director, that would be the moment would turn.
Yeah.
Like he has those moments like
I
he has build up to where you could be like, oh damn, it could lead up to a horror movie kind of thing, and then he just takes he goes back to a side.
Like, well, you remember in Cure whenever you see the ghost lady for the first time, or no, that's actually Pulse. In Pulse, whenever you see the ghost lady for the first time, that's almost the same kind of vibes that I got from him looking inside.
No, I could see Kiyoshi Kurosawa, like a slow kind of horror director that hangs on stuff.
That lets just lets your eyes wander almost. But yeah, we can actually get into the movie now because I'll just say I love the whole. We'll get into it.
Yeah,
but
are you gonna save your ranking for the end? Because I'm kind of curious what you like the most. Okay,
we'll save it to the end. I haven't decided yet.
Because you and Luke have both been getting all of these 5 stars, so I have no way to know which one best or anything.
They're all.
I'll definitely have a rank list at the end.
They're all perfect.
Yeah.
I have
Luke, no, I know you have a rank list. I don't have to ask about you.
I got you. You know I got you.
You probably have one already.
You know I got.
I actually do have one already, but I need to.
I have one already.
I haven't updated it, so
I have one already as well.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, it could change it then.
Yeah,
It already has probably at some points, but yeah. So the whole opens with that opening like just dialogue of kind of like what's going on, like
and he holds it on the black screen a while.
He does.
Too.
No, he holds on the black screen, just like making you like watch this like news broadcast of kind of like what's
or listen to it.
listen. Yeah, not even
which is
watch,
important, not watch because. Right from the beginning, like you said, he does make you listen to his movies.
Yes, he does.
Just as importantly as just watch them.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, this was like living in 2020 again, honestly.
Or 2000, like he's
or
saying.
2000,
that's where, like, when people say history repeats itself, like, in a certain sense, it's true, but, like, it's more like, I think I mentioned this on a previous podcast, but it's like, when you are very specific about your own time, even when we're watching it from the future, we can still take it and apply it to our own time. Because, like, at the end of the day, we're all, like, humans with bodies, we go through similar types of things. Especially in film where we're filming bodies, No, that's why it's, like, it does feel so prescient to COVID and everything. It's, like, it's almost like you said, like, in your review, I think, it's, like, it feels like foreshadowing for COVID.
Yeah.
But really, he was just talking about his own time, too.
Yeah.
Like that feeling.
No, that's why I think it works
so
so well. I think it works so well is because I think I said this just whenever we came back from the break going into it, but like he understands kind of what's happening in the world, like better than a lot of like people, I feel like, where he understands like kind of what's happening, like what the world is doing to us as like what's doing to our soul, basically, or our spirit.
You saying that, this is actually the best quote in that interview I was telling you about. And it's weird because in the movie, there's nothing direct about politics at all, right? It's all very just
It's
personal.
all in the background.
But politics is there, like, throughout the... And this is what I was saying earlier about why, like, a government or something might not like a movie like this. Because the politics are there, you know, like, it's there. Like, everything beaten down, nothing working. Like, it's a government building, I'm pretty sure. But the quote is, quote, I think the biggest crisis is that the world has fallen under I think the biggest crisis is that the world has fallen under the control of a very few politicians and businessmen. It appears that the world is marching toward progress, but it's all for individual profits. And then he says, sometimes I really wish there'd be no more progress. And you just kind of, like, and he talks about in the interview how, like, Taipei was one of these cities, and this happened with a lot of Asian cities. Like, this definitely happened in India, where, like, they were trying to catch up with Western development.
Yeah.
And so they took a lot of shortcuts and a lot of stuff that only worked in the West that didn't work in their own countries. And so you see a lot of, like, buildings that were built, but, like, really shoddily done, you know, like, barely livable. Exactly what this movie's about, you know. I think he talks about in the interview how, like, the rents in Taipei at the time were basically as high as Tokyo.
Yeah.
Which is...
Yeah.
And, yeah, think about that. And, like... and so, like, honestly, reading the interview was a lot more enlightening after... I still love the movie because I'd watched it first, but it just, you know, helped me understand some of the stuff. Because, like, none of it... There's no politics... There's no one talks about politics or anything. But it's, like... you have to see politics in the movie because it's like in every shot almost, you know, it's in the background and everything. Even
it's
in
what
the
makes him a true
shots.
artist. It's what makes him a true artist.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, exactly. No, but that goes exactly what you were saying, you know, like there's this world of no soul almost in this movie, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and he just, I mean, because he didn't even have to think of this as like a Y2K movie, or it's just like, he could have just thought of this as like, what would happen if something like this were to like happen? And he knows people so well that he just made something that actually foreshadowed kind of how people would act. Like it's he just, I mean, it's just a great, it's a great movie.
Well, he's like a lot of great directors. He's very observational, so like can apply it to a lot of situations. Like we talked about this with Tati too. Like when you just observe a person, like Tati in traffic. Even 60 years ago, it still applies when you watch people in traffic today. Yeah. You know, it's like that's kind of thing. You know,
speaking of observation, I just have to bring it up since I was literally just like on our break on Twitter. I saw Hayao Miyazaki call out the anime industry again for having too many otakus because what's
otaku?
It's like people that are obsessed with like anime basically.
Okay.
But it's like he said like to do my job you have to like actually watch people. And the people in the anime industry don't like watching people. That's why everything sucks. Basically, they only watch anime, so they aren't actually like learning how real people like actually interact and talk.
Damn.
But like it was just really
Miyazaki
funny.
told him to touch grass.
Basically, he literally did though. But back to the hole.
Damn.
Yeah, so the hole it opens with Kong lying on his couch, and then the maintenance man comes because we find out there's a leak underneath, or like in the floor below. Which this is kind of like just like the river was kind of like foreshadowing this with the dad's leaky apartment because it's basically how
there's a leaky apartment like every movie. Isn't
that's
there?
true. Yeah, there's a flood apartment in every movie.
Yeah. I think there is that.
Actually, I don't think Vive.
But it's not even. But it's none of their apartment, so it's kind of like it has to be like it can't be flooded. Because if it was one of theirs, it probably would have been.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he loves flooding apartments for sure. Or he just loves showing how like broken.
I think
down
it's like a good
is.
metaphor for him of like just showing how if like a place that's really broken down, you know, if, like water is like overflowing like that.
Yeah, but people still have to live here.
Yeah.
But yeah, he says that there's like a massive leak downstairs, and I do love these scenes because like the river. I think both these like the river and the hole are their like side like continuing to like evolve because he's holding on like these long stack takes a lot longer.
Oh yeah.
In these two movies,
he progressively gets more and more like slower.
Like I feel like if you go through his ASL tracker or whatever, I'm pretty sure it would just go up.
I can see that
because like these two movies, I know I put that in Vive l'Amour in my notes in that one also. How you can already see from like Rebels, it's gone slower, but these two even more. Like it felt like he's like trying to slow you down even more.
At least during the non-musical scenes.
Yes, the musical scenes are.
I think maybe,
but even the musical scenes, they're usually just long takes.
They're
usually just one take.
That's true.
But
there's just more action going on in the frame.
Yeah.
Oh, Wayward Cloud definitely is not. Well, at least okay.
It's been a while. That's one of the ones I've only seen once, actually. Sadly, but.
Wow, shame on you.
I know. I should have watched it.
Even though I've only seen it once too. But anyway.
But yeah, then May returns home also, and then we actually see like the leaky apartment that they were talking about, and it is bad. Tsai's very good at showing a broken down apartment, honestly.
Mm-hmm. And depressed people eating alone inside of them too, as she does. She comes home and eats, I think.
Yeah, I think she does come home and eat. But I do want to I do have in my notes the dialogue from the beginning of the movie came back to me, at least in this scene specifically, and it does come back even in full force later on whenever her faucet stops working entirely. But we're seeing her faucet and how she has to fill up the water for her meal. Yeah. It's just coming out literally a trickle, and there's a part in the opening dialogue where it's we have all of these perfectly functioning apartment complexes or whatever. It's talking about stuff like that, and then you just see the actual reality.
What they're actually living in.
Yeah, but and it also is just showing because it is raining the entire time in this movie. That's one other thing. It's a lot like Rebels in that way. Rebels and
he never goes outside at all too. He always stays in the building. I'm pretty sure.
Does
he ever go outside the building? I don't think
he goes outside. Well, he goes to the little shopping area or whatever, where he has his shop, where he has his. Shop, I don't know where that is.
I assume that was in the the bottom.
It might
floor
be
of
in
the apartment. That's kind of what I assumed.
I think it was the first floor. That's why I assumed.
Yeah, that's kind of the lobby.
It might be
connected somehow.
Actually, it might be because whenever they carry that infected man out, they were fumigating the place that he was in, and I'm pretty sure that's where the.
Oh, great fumigating shot though.
It is a great fumigating shot. But yeah, the greater point I was trying to make with the raining scene is there's water all around her, but the actual water she can use is just she can't even actually use anything.
It's Tsai's making fun of her.
I mean, because a newscaster at the beginning literally
this is
says.
What I was talking about.
Did you say that?
No. You can say the quote. I don't have it written down. I forgot.
It's something I think I wrote it down, but it's something it would be foolish to assume one can live on rainwater. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Because he's basically warning people that don't, because they're saying this one area is quarantined.
Yeah,
and they're trying to get everyone to leave.
They're gonna cut off.
Yeah, cut off, and then they're knowing people are gonna try to live on rainwater. You can't live on rainwater, and that's kind of this joke of the whole movie. They can't live on. They need water.
Because it's raining the entire.
Yeah, but they need water still.
Yeah,
so it's damn. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but because I did write down that quote because it stuck in my head, the newscaster says that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the point I was trying to make. I just couldn't remember what the quote was. I should have written down the quote, but because that's the reason that came back in full force whenever we were watching that scene. But then I have in my notes Tsai's humor shows itself again whenever she's putting the egg whites on her face, and then she's just looking up at the ceiling, and then just dust just rains down on her face right as she's doing it. It's honestly hilarious.
I mean, this reminded me also of the river scene too. It's a similar kind of vibe of you're just you're finally home and you want to relax. And then, your house starts leaking.
Yes.
The same with the dad trying to sleep in the last one.
Yes.
It's just a brutal feeling.
Yeah. Yes,
there's, a few moments... he has a lot of moments like that where it's just, you have to know what it's like. It's, one of those moments, later on we'll see it, but it's, if you have night allergies, when you go to sleep, it's so relatable where she's, trying to go to sleep and she just can't sleep. Cause it's just, you just have to let it pass. But there's just, little moments he has that throughout his movies that I've noticed, but... That's one of them too. Where
that's why I was saying about the chiropractor too in the river.
Yeah, honestly,
it doesn't help. If you know, you know.
You know, it doesn't help right after.
Yeah, but after that happens and the hole actually appears, we have
great
our first
close-up too.
A great close-up.
That's what I was saying. Size close-up. He doesn't use them that often, but when he does,
he does.
They're very good.
Yes.
Which is also very Brisson. Why you need to watch Brisson too. I want to keep saying that. The series is coming up, but still.
They just can't wait. I mean, I can't wait for Brisson. We got a little slow down. We gotta get Psy first.
Yeah.
We gotta get through Psy first. But yes, this leads us to the first musical number of Psy's career, Calypso. Which is a great musical number. I do have in my notes that I don't know why he made this his first musical number either. But Calypso is the person that enticed Odysseus in the Odyssey to stay with her, or she wanted him to stay with her, trapped on this island for 7 years. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty sure that definitely has something to do with the whole, obviously, because they're all trapped inside. Yeah. So I think he's definitely trying to say something like that.
Well, there's a Calypso in the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Different Calypso.
I don't know. It's I don't know if there's a similarity.
Or it's the same mythology.
Yeah,
it might be the same mythology. I don't know.
But this. I mean, it showcases how simple Psy makes his musical numbers a lot of the time, but how beautiful they look. It's with all the lights in the elevator.
This is such a simple musical number because she's literally just standing in one spot the entire time.
One shot, just
going in and out.
Move out,
and it's just so amazing. But it really is just the light. It's just the lighting, how catchy it is. It's how pretty she is, obviously. But it's Like everything.
And the way
is
the camera just
perfect.
moves in slowly and then
Yes.
moves
Yeah,
out
yeah,
slowly.
yeah.
down.
And it's like coming
All
from
one
behind
take,
the corner,
yeah.
and then like it
Yeah.
pulls out from goes around the corners. You can kind of see her like sort of to the left. Like,
Yeah,
right?
like
It's
the ending
yeah.
shot of just her like in the elevator. I'm pretty sure it closes on her.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's such a good way to end it. And then it immediately
Yeah,
hard
yeah.
cut opens to Kong like just passed out.
Oh my God.
It's such a good opening, man. It's so,
so
good, so good. Because he's drunk as shit.
Oh,
He's like
so
walking
drunk.
back to the apartment. He like holds on to the fire extinguisher.
Okay,
Just like
and I was wondering. I was
I mean,
thinking about.
these? Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say. I was thinking about. Well, I couldn't when he was like throwing. I was like. Did Tsai actually get him like drunk and made him throw up?
Maybe, honestly.
because like
The way when he throws
it
up,
looks
it
real.
looks
it has to be real.
Like,
It
what
has to
the-
be real.
It has to.
Like what with the amount of liquid coming out and how he's acting like it. Okay.
But like us doing these 2 episodes, I'm thinking more like how Lee Kang-sheng, he really is like a physical actor.
he's so good at it.
like a very physical, because he barely talks. So
Yeah.
it's like
No, he's a very silent era
yes,
type
exactly,
of actor for sure.
exactly. But it's also very realistic though.
Yes.
So it's kind of both. Like the physicalness is very silent-like, but it's also
It's the
very,
physicalness
like,
of the silent
quiet at the
silent
same
era,
time.
but it's like
It's not
shot
the
in real time,
expressiveness.
basically.
Yeah.
Well,
He has the same amount of expressiveness
Well, yeah,
too, but
right.
it's
yeah,
just
he
like,
has great like,
It's just slower,
especially in
I
his
guess.
face. His face is great expression.
he's just
Yeah.
on another level than anyone else, you know. Slower level.
slower
Yes.
level.
He slowed himself
So,
down.
dude, like you don't think of actors being like very physical nowadays. You know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
having. I think I might have talked about this on some other episode. Like no actor has John Wayne's presence. You know, not even close.
Yeah, I mean Tom
Like,
Cruise is like the
fat.
exception. I feel like in terms of like.
Are we talking about now?
Nowadays.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess okay.
Like-
It's a different type of physics because Cruise is mainly just like stunts.
Cruise,
and stuff,
yeah,
like,
he's action, yeah.
I guess more in like regular scenes, he's not
Leo?
really like isn't he?
No,
Brad Pitt?
No.
I mean, they're definitely not on the level of John.
and they're more talky too. They're more talky type.
Oh, you're talking
like more
just
dramatic.
straight presence.
Like
I mean,
physical
Lee
presence.
Kang-shin definitely has
yeah,
a
Yeah,
physical
what-
presence.
yeah,
it's
John
not
Wayne
just-
has
It's more just a physical,
yeah.
just your physical presence on the screen actually matters more than just the talking.
Tom Hardy.
All right, I'll go Tom Hardy if he would do more roles. Like
Do better
he definitely has
roles.
some other like his earlier movies.
You don't like
for sure,
Venom?
too,
though?
yeah.
You don't like Venom?
Venom
I've
is
never
great.
seen
Christian
Venom.
Bale
I've
at
never
times.
seen
I
it's
actually-
more, it's
I've
like-
never seen Venom.
Tom Hardy in Venom is amazing.
Yeah, honestly,
Okay, let's. Okay,
Christian Bale is a different
Maybe
type,
not too
but
far.
like Christian Bale, maybe you could say, but
He
it's
has
a little
presence.
different type.
He has presence.
It's
Presence draft.
Okay. I don't know.
it's all like Western.
Okay.
It's like
Clint
Western
Eastwood.
actors.
Yeah.
Like Clint Eastwood, that type of. Maybe it's just that type of like role
Henry
doesn't even
Fonda.
exist anymore really in film.
Jean-Pierre.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Jean Pierre Laut is more this type of physical presence I'm talking about though.
Yeah,
he's kind of
yeah,
more
he's
Lee
very-
Kang-sheng.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
But
Which
like,
is very
he
fair.
has
I
it
mean,
both
that's
ways,
that's
though.
that's
Exactly.
actually perfect.
Well,
Yeah,
Leon has it both ways though. He has the physical, but he's also so good at, like the dramatic talking stuff. Like,
he does, yeah.
He's just an amazing actor. Like
He is,
oh, he's so
he
good.
is.
But anyway, yeah. Which actually, Jean-Pierre Laut, we are going to talk about Jean-Pierre Laut.
Yes, we are.
So,
That's why I said
yeah,
it's very,
yeah.
very apt
Yes,
that
we
you
are.
Maybe
brought
not
it
so
up,
off topic,
honestly,
you
so-
know?
No, it's not.
Not off
It's really
topic at
not
all, honestly. No, but I do like the puking sound, like you've already mentioned. Like it's such a good scene, but it's like it shows like he uses sounds like to make you uncomfortable. Like we already know that through his Overwatch so far. Like how he uses sounds to like make you like really uncomfortable while watching. And the puking is just another example.
But then,
Yeah.
but puking through the hole. Too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, like imagine.
That's one reason
That's
why I
like-
think this movie's so fucking funny.
Yeah,
He
it
just
is.
sees the hole. He's like,
To be fair, kind of smart, honestly. Like,
oh,
why
very
not?
smart. He's just like, well, I
you
don't
have to clean
this
it up.
I
Yeah,
don't
like-
clean this up. And she, like, it's honestly a beautifully shot scene. But she like
Yeah.
goes and look because she hears him, and she goes and looks up the hole, and like it's so beautifully like framed and lit. And then you know that she's about to like put her
you
hands
just know
into
it,
something.
yeah.
And she
Yeah,
does.
she does.
She's
It's
just
like,
like,
oh.
it's such a great scene, dude. Because she just like, I mean, she starts freaking out.
It's like every time you
obviously.
think things can't get worse.
Yeah,
like,
honestly.
They do every time. But yeah, she cleans it up and like she stuffs the mop into the hole.
Oh, my
yeah.
God.
Like to try and like close out the sound of his snoring, or actually it's his alarm clock started ringing or whatever. Because I mean that's another
But
hilarious
it's
scene. The
no,
things
but
they
it's
do
like
through
the alarm
hole
clock thing is
amazing.
like it's kind of just like a little another like symbol of like just a little hole in the apartment connects them so much more.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Oh, yeah,
crazy
for
if you think
sure.
about it like that. But
Yeah.
like literally now all of a sudden his alarm clock affects her. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah. No, yeah, to the point where she can't fall asleep.
Yeah,
and he has
yeah,
to like.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he has to get. Oh yeah, he goes to the store or whatever.
But the way that the most is definitely the bathroom that I was thinking. I mentioned or like I think I mentioned last episode. I saw, like you can tell Cy loves using bathrooms.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But like it's definitely so relevant in this one. Like to where like Imagine where if your neighbor using the bathroom affected you such a degree, to that degree, it'd be basically like living with someone.
Yeah.
Like we were sharing a bathroom. It'd be miserable.
Yeah, I know exactly the scene you're talking about whenever she's peeing with the bucket on her head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because that's one of the first.
Or when he's peeing, and he has to go to the sink because he realizes that if he pees through the bathroom, it's going to
But then if he pees through the sink, she can hear it in her walls.
Yeah, exactly. yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. Oh, that's so good. But yeah, like so the alarm clock's going and whatever. Like Kong is like he gets up and he goes downstairs and starts feeding the kitty. It's the first. This is the first like major cat in Psy movies.
Yeah, it's been a major lack of cats. I'll say that's a major
lack of cats. We had dogs in the last one. It was pretty good. He was feeding the dogs in the last.
All right, yeah, that's barely. In there.
They were really pretty. They were really pretty dogs too.
Yes, there's a cat in Rushat.
I was going to say terrible filmmaker.
There's a cat in Rushat.
And I think there might be one of its mothers, but I have to think about it. I mean, obviously he has a donkey.
It's true.
I do like the scenes where, in this first part of like seeing where he's working, because obviously I think he's working there because his dad from the other movies. I'm pretty sure it's not his dad in this movie, but like he's buying stuff from him at this part.
In this first in a place that why would you even go to this place to buy stuff?
Well, it's more so to me thinking of how the pandemic or the virus has affected the city because no one's out basically. It's just them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This would be a place that would be hustly and bustly whenever it wasn't
that's
under
true.
this thing basically, but.
That's true.
But now it's not because
he's looking for bean
there's
paste
a virus.
or something.
Yeah, he's looking for bean paste or some shit. But yeah, he feeds the cat before and right before he goes home. Also, I just like how much the cat's in this movie at the very beginning. So
yes, and how many cans there are on the ground.
Oh, you could tell he's the only one feeding this cat, which is why it's there, I guess. But yeah, it cuts back to his apartment where May is putting a note on his door. Telling him basically instructions to be, I think it was be home or something when the plumber is, because she called a plumber to try to fix everything.
Okay, yeah.
That's one of the big things in the movie is she's trying to contact a plumber.
Yeah, damn. Also sucks.
But yeah, this is where we see Kong feed the cat again before he goes out. And then we see this is honestly super relatable to people that's lived through the pandemic, because May's we see she's a hoarder. Because she starts pulling out all of her things in her storage area, all of her supplies. Yeah. She has to pile in the living room because there's waters infiltrated that area.
I didn't even think of that, but yeah.
But it's we literally have kind of lived through that because people were hoarding way too much shit.
Yeah. Do you remember when people were hoarding toilet paper?
That's kind of what this scene reminded me of, because she's pulling out toilet paper. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Because she's just making a giant stack in the living room of all of her supplies that she's had stored up throughout this, however long this has lasted. But all this hustling and bustling in the apartment gets Kong curious, so he's trying to look through the hole, and she notices because dust is falling through. It's a really the lighting in this movie is also just insane, because you notice the dust just trickling down. She notices something's happening, so she just grabs very quietly an air spray can or whatever and just sprays it directly up into the hole at him. This is why this movie's so funny, honestly.
And it's almost in a way a side character almost fighting it back.
Yeah.
Against Psy,
against the voyeur,
characters. Yeah. That's how I saw it almost, because it's almost another scene of here goes Lee Kong Cheng being voyeuristic.
Here comes the peeper.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but it is funny how it ends too, because Lee Kong Cheng just puts a pot lid, or a lid over it.
Yeah,
just goes okay, fuck this. But then this leads to the next musical number, which is, I don't know what the song's actually called, but the main lyrics are go away and don't come back.
Oh yeah, it's her talking to her husband or something.
Yeah, it's talking to her husband, and this is where I first started to think it was maybe foreshadowing or projecting what's going to happen later. It's also kind of projecting kind of taking what just happened, where Kong was looking through the hole, saying don't go away, basically. Don't come back.
Okay, yeah.
But it's also what the scene that happens after May's actually listening into an argument where you can only hear the woman's voice telling someone to get out of her apartment.
Yeah.
But they really can't because they're on lockdown.
Yeah.
So it's just and it's a really good song too. Like with all of his musical numbers, it's a really good song. But
and the lighting is so good.
Because it's just in the stairwell. It's just in the stairwell.
It's the same
it's
location.
So
like in some ways it takes even more creativity.
Yes.
Like he's using the same locations and still like making them feel very musical.
He's making them feel
through
like
the costumes and the lighting.
different.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's mostly the costumes, honestly, and the lighting. But honestly, like just going up the stairwell is just beautiful.
Oh, it is.
Oh,
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's just filmed so.
Yeah, the
so
way she's
well.
moving too, like
Yeah, but
It's
it's
like
just
a music video or
like
something.
the lyrics being "go away and don't come back," and you see that she's slowly being led into like a cell block, basically, or like a cell, as they close the door, and it's just like
damn, yeah.
it's a cell, and then directly, like I said, the next thing that happens is like that couple arguing with it, where you can just hear the woman's voice saying "go away."
Yeah.
But so that's at least why I think the that song is about. But like it does.
Yeah,
connect some
I
ways,
think
but-
I think I agree with that's supposed to be directed towards Li Kangsheng in a way, like
yes.
her project. Yeah, that's yeah.
So Lee King but also at the kind of apartment.
But also,
like, she
yeah,
hears
yeah.
Right after, yeah.
Yeah, because that's literally like saying like leave whenever or like don't come like leave my apartment during a long night is honestly really funny because he literally can't. But it's like where am I gonna go?
Yeah.
No, but what happens after that is May goes to see Kong to tell like this is what I was talking about. Like they
Okay.
do actually see each other once. Like she goes to tell him to be at the apartment whenever the plumber gets there. Because she wants to get the problem fixed, obviously.
Yeah, he has to be involved
Yeah.
in it.
And then immediately cuts to her peeing in her apartment
With the
with the bucket on her,
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
bucket
yeah,
on her head.
Okay.
Damn, that would suck so bad.
Yeah, but this is like so the first part of this movie I called just the arrival of the hole basically, or just the hole,
Yeah.
and then the second part I called like longing through the hole because like this is where they're like
Yeah.
actually like literally reaching through and talking to each other through the hole.
Wait, what did you say? Longing for the hole?
Longing through the hole.
Longing through the hole. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like the thing that happens after she's peeing on there is like she goes to the hole and just screams up there like, "Hey, were you just in the bathroom?"
Yeah, yeah.
If you were, and you use the toilet, it starts leaking right onto my head, basically. But like this is their first actual interactions, like through the hole
Yeah. Oh, that's
that we
funny.
see. Well, I mean not the first, I guess, because the puke is there, and then like
Yeah,
they also
yeah.
had the air freshener, but they actually talk to each other
It's the first time they talk.
Yes.
Yes, and then this is my Kubrick reference that I was talking about. You guys don't remember the Ding Dong Ditcher, the kid on the bike just riding down the hallways, very
In,
shining.
In The Shining?
No. In this movie, there's just this kid riding down the hallways, ringing everyone's doorbell on his little like tricycle.
Why don't I remember this?
Very much like
In The Shining.
Very much like in The Shining, where
Okay,
Danny's
I'll have to
riding
rewatch
around.
that scene you're talking about.
You guys don't remember the scene?
No, I know what you're talking about, but I was like, I was like,
like,
thinking,
it doesn't.
like how would I connect it? I don't know. I just.
I mean, it's just a
think
little kid on a tricycle riding down
Is
the
it shot the
hallways.
same way, like from right behind?
Not directly.
Like the Steadicam, like
it's. I mean, it's just
because that
it's-
shot is famous
it's-
in The Shining because it was like one of the
No,
first,
it's the
like,
steady. No, this
glowing
one's not
Steadicam.
shot that way. This one's just shot with like it's a side shot,
Okay.
like just static camera from down the hallway, just watching the kid as he goes down, ringing each doorbell. So it's done differently. I just thought
Yeah,
it was
I
like
guess so.
it reminded me of The Shining. So. Just based on
I'll
how the
rewatch
kid
it
looks.
after. I'll rewatch it.
I'll rewatch it afterwards. But yeah, the kid's just playing pranks on people in the apartment. Which he does that a couple times. but-
Room 237 people that in that documentary, they'd be like, "Oh, so that means Kubrick knew the pandemic was coming." Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
That's
basically Blake's review.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, it was just a matter of time. We've been told that very much. So.
No, but dude, in that same interview, which is it's not even that long, but he mentions a lot of good stuff because he does talk about there was like a little like virus that happened with chickens in China right after he made that movie.
Oh yeah.
And they had to kill a bunch of chickens in China at the time. And he's like, see, even like right after my movie, that happened, like stuff is like this. He said like modern society is creating viruses like this that we don't even know about. So in a way, it's like people have been warning about stuff like COVID for a while. Like
that's why I
it's
said.
just-
That's why I said it's like it's foresight, but people knew this was going to happen.
you just don't ever know when.
Yeah.
That's what like the foreshadowing
Yeah.
doesn't say.
Yeah.
But it's
The
like,
foresight comes from him being able to see.
you can see
how
where things are
people-
going. too.
Well, it's the foresight comes from him being able to see how people would react.
yeah.
to
Also,
it.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because like that's where the foresight from this movie
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
from me.
Yeah.
It's like because everyone knew that something like this was probably going to happen, like a
Yeah.
pandemic was going to happen, and it probably still is because no one's
Another
changed.
one.
or nothing's
No,
nothing's
or
changed.
another one
So
happen at some point.
probably something
Yeah.
worse. But yeah, it was just like more so the foresight into how people would act.
Yeah.
So yeah, after the kid's playing pranks on everyone, it's we go to Kong back at the shop, and this is where we already talked about the scene where the guy is where we see their first infected man basically
Yeah,
crawling
yeah,
back into his little hole in the wall, literally.
But another like long shot of him like walking
Yeah.
before he finally sees this guy just like crawling.
Yeah, because
Who's
at first
this
you
guy?
could think, at first you could maybe think it was like a drunk guy.
Yeah.
But then you realize, like, I think that we'd heard in, like, a news report that they act like, or maybe it comes after this, like a news report directly after this, where it's like people that are affected by the Taiwan virus or whatever.
Oh, yes.
Like,
Okay.
like this is another thing that was like very foresighty, like just seeing how. Well, I guess it's not even foresight because it's already happened with the Spanish flu. Where like how Western news stations will always try to like portray a virus as based on where it's from to like make sure people know like, oh, it was them, not us.
that
Like,
thing. Yeah, damn.
it was them, not us.
Even though like that's not how viruses work. Like,
Yeah, literally.
it's like more random than that. But...
Yeah. But that was skipping ahead just a sec because we do actually have like May's like trying to get a number off the wall, and then this is the scene of the infected man getting dragged out of the apartment complex too. So we actually see our first two infected people like very close together in the movie.
Yeah.
Where it's like the one just staying in the hole at the apartment basically. That might be the same guy actually then, huh? Because they're at the same apartment complex, so
That
it must be
makes
the same
sense.
guy. Actually, that's
Yeah.
probably who it is. No,
That makes sense.
that's probably who it is. Just connected that. Okay, but he touches May as they're like leaving, and she starts freaking out.
Yeah.
And she immediately goes and like disinfects herself, which like this is also kind of
very,
relatable. Like people were
yeah.
freaking out about shit like this whenever everything was like new and going down.
That feel okay. I hate revisiting that time.
I know
Yeah,
people
it was
were
rough.
insane. Dude.
Rough time.
People were insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is where the news report happened, where it was like people develop bug-like tendencies. They can't go into like hot sunlight, or they hate the sunlight and everything. They love the dark. But this is where they first say the Taiwan virus. But yeah, like then the fumigation scene happens. So I love how it starts because it's just Kong with the cat just like running around, going like, "Oh god,
And
oh
the way he's
god!"
holding the cat.
It's just like how you're supposed to hold a cat at all. And like what happens, the cat obviously jumps down because he's like, "You're not holding me right, bitch." And we don't. That cat probably died, sadly. But
I think it's implied that Li Kang-shing lets him go once he's like the cat can run free.
oh, okay.
Because they're like, it looks like he's looking for a place to get out, and then
I think
he does toss the cat, so it's like you're good now.
I thought the cat just like jumped out.
No,
of his
I
arms,
remember
bro.
because I was like, damn, he kind of tosses him kind of hard.
Kinda tosses him kinda
No,
hard.
but the cat is fine.
Yeah.
It's a cat.
But this is right after they see this, and then he tosses the cat. Then this is like another great side shot of both of them kind of looking at each other without really looking at each other.
No, this
Yes.
is actually right before this is another extremely hilarious part of the movie to me, where it's like, since she just got touched, she's like disinfecting everything in the house,
Yeah, okay.
and spraying so much air freshener that whenever Kong opens up the door to his apartment, he is like aghast at the smell. He's just like,
man.
"What the fuck happened?"
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
And then he like
he
lifts,
puts his, like, mouth
he
on
like
it.
lifts the lid up, and then he just like starts trying to like use it. He's like literally using the door to like fan his apartment out. But then this is like the shot that we're probably going to use for the podcast still, where it's the Li Kang-shing walks out onto his balcony. You see him in the foreground, and then on the floor below, you see May in the background, and it's just like an amazing shot. And then you see the reverse shot just a second later, where it's like May, where we see it from May's perspective, where she's in the foreground. We can see Kong in the background smoking a cigarette.
I mean,
It's just
Evil
such an
Amore has a
amazing
very
shot.
similar one in the stairwell, where she's at the top and he's at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Although
yeah.
she's not looking at him, like she doesn't know he's there.
She knows by the sound. She hears someone.
Oh, does she hear
Yeah, because
someone?
she's like
Okay.
looking literally down, and he's like just hiding behind her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And this
No,
one,
this one's. I mean, I love that one. I love the stairwell shot that you're talking about in Viva l'Amour, but this is like, it's one of my favorite shots in a Psy movie, honestly,
It's fair.
no, it is great.
because it's just so striking.
And then it leads right to the maybe.
and
the
then it
most
leads
musical
right
number
to
too.
my favorite musical
Mine too,
number,
honestly.
which is I don't know what the actual like what it translates to, but I know that the main lyrics were "I want you,"
Yeah.
which is.
Even though there's some English lyrics in it.
There is. It's actually.
Yeah.
I think most of the chorus is actually lyrics, or actually like the chorus is like Chinese, and then all like the main lyrics in between are like kind of English.
Oh,
which
but
is interesting.
the way Li Kang-shing is introduced in the musical.
Oh, he's so great.
Because like all these, it must be all these are long takes.
They
too.
are, yeah.
But they're all like the actions through like when he pans in or out, like
Yeah.
new things are introduced, kind of.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's smoking a cigarette. He like.
But the way he lights
yeah.
it,
Yes,
he lights it on the wall,
yes.
too.
Yeah, he's freaking
man.
he's
The Elliot
Philip
Gould.
It's
Marlowe,
classic,
yeah.
man. It's
Yeah.
classic.
But yeah, like the way he runs his hand through his hair, like
that's the James Dean
Yes,
thing.
I mean this is
Yeah,
classic.
like-
It's classic Hollywood
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
No, and I mean it's my it's my favorite. Like just the way they're dressed, the way Lee Kong Shin's like over exaggerated acting, like running away from her. Is
Oh,
like,
it's so.
Because
This
the
is so
first two
funny,
musical,
like-
after the first two, I wasn't sure if we were going to get a musical with them together. So it is kind of shocking, because it is her for alone the third time.
Yeah,
so when he
yeah.
comes in, it's like kind of first time watching, I was surprised.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
just like it starts with just her leg, which
Yes.
is just
Oh,
an
it's
amazing
so
shot.
yes.
And then it slowly pulls back, and we just see Lee
Yeah.
just there.
and she's like, and she also grabs the fire extinguisher and
Yes.
starts like.
It starts using
kind
kind of like how Kong was whenever he was like drunk with the fire
Yeah,
extinguisher at the very
yeah.
beginning of the movie.
And he does so many little funny like movements
He
as
does,
he's dancing
dude.
and stuff.
Like that's my favorite part is just like, especially whenever he's like running away from her, he's like
Yeah.
doing this like
Yeah,
really high
the waddle,
steps
like,
and going
it's
like,
like
oh my God.
Yeah, oh
he's
my
doing
God.
the air walk.
Yeah, honestly, oh my God.
It's like
Yeah, no, and then he's like, he's like dodging her and so yeah, just like it's like really funny. Like he's trying to make it funny too, but it's great.
Yeah. No, yeah, he's making fun. Like this one feels like he's making fun of like the classic musical almost, but
In a like good way,
But in a-
It's
oh, definitely a good way.
in a funny way. Yeah, in a funny
He's
way.
just having
Not-
fun with it.
Yeah.
but I mean, it is definitely like it's showing that she wants him,
Yeah.
obviously.
And he's maybe a bit hesitant.
He might be,
But then he gives it.
She's a clean
kind of
freak,
end of the
so-
number, so it's kind of.
Does he? I mean, she kind of rapes him at the end. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, wow. they start kind of dancing with their
That's
hands, like
true. Yeah,
turning
that's
around.
true.
Like I mean,
Oh,
obviously.
you mean at the very end of the movie? I thought you meant.
I meant the musical number. No,
This
I
musical
still meant
number?
because they're like spinning with each other, like when she gets
Slightly,
him.
yeah. When she gets him, yeah.
Yeah, once she can.
She cornered him first, but
Nah, it's cool. It's cool though. It's cool though. Anyway, yeah.
That was a lot of deep analysis on their this musical here. I can tell you
I
guys.
mean,
most
yeah,
of it.
that's the power of
I love
musicals.
it.
Like, musical numbers are a fantastic way of expression
They are.
of
They can
emotion.
be. They can be.
They usually are if they're
Yeah.
good musicals.
That's implied in the word "good." Like they're good musicals.
Which this one is.
Yes.
All right, yeah, so I'll agree with that.
All right. Well, the direct scene after this is May's alarm clock ringing, and then this is the Kong peeing in the toilet, but then realizing that if he pees in the toilet, it leaks down there, so he's peeing in the sink.
Yeah.
Which is also another funny thing, like to juxtapose that first musical of them like falling in love kind of
Yeah.
thing, and then
Yeah.
with this, like the
Yeah.
reality, like
The reality.
him peeing on her, like literally.
Like literally peeing on her, but also trying to be like considerate and like stopping.
He's trying
and
to
then,
be, yeah,
then
yeah,
going in the
that's true,
sink, and
yeah.
then just
That's
instead
kind of like
peeing
the
on her.
foreshadowing you were saying.
Yeah,
almost,
no,
of
yeah,
the
yeah.
musical maybe.
Yeah, and yeah, but I mean, it's still it might stop the leak on like him peeing on her head, but she can still hear it. So
Yeah.
But May puts tape over the whole thing, and that's gonna like help stop whatever's happening.
Yeah.
And then it cuts like literally to her laughing on the phone in her apartment.
Honestly, one of
As
his
her
best
apartment,
shots, though.
it's a great shot because like the apartment's falling apart.
It's a
around
really
her,
long
basically.
take, but like yeah, because it's like she's across the room talking on the phone.
Yeah. And we don't know who she's talking to. I honestly, who do you guys think she's talking to? I don't think she's talking to anyone. I'll just say that right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think she's talking to
Yeah, I
anyone.
don't think it's ever revealed.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really.
I will say the one thing that stood out while she's talking is she says a lot of stuff, I think, but she does say something like, "There's an eye staring at me"
Yeah.
about the hole, and that's like, damn, that's like literally like that's what I was saying. Like her trying to tape up the hole and stuff almost feels like a side character trying to fight back
Yeah.
against Tsai, like in what he does in some of his other movies.
Yeah.
And like this is like a character almost saying that, like this is like there's like an eye literally staring at me, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
know, like the idea of her not saying talking to anyone, that would make sense. Like in the movie's context, it doesn't matter if she's really talking to anyone because it's like
Yeah. There's nothing she can like do about it.
yeah,
like,
and she's alone anyway.
Yeah,
like it's
yeah,
not like
yeah.
that person ever comes and tries to help her or anything, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, the reason I say that is because she's talking about stripping at first to make money, and then it
She
sounds
says it
like
kind of
she's-
jokingly, but kind of seriously.
Yeah, kind of
too.
jokingly,
Yeah.
but it sounds like she's on the phone with maybe Kong, because she's talking to the person that caused the hole in her ceiling.
Is that what she says?
No, yeah, she says, "I'm looking at the hole you caused." Is like one thing she says while she's on the phone,
Ah.
and so that's like what led me to think like she's not really talking to anyone. Or she's like fantasizing that she's talking to Kong, basically, because we
Ah.
just had her fantasy of the "I want you." And then like now we have her fantasizing about Ashley.
Honestly,
talking
I like that. I like that.
like that. That's what I thought this time, because then it cuts directly to Kong calling for pussy, like literally, like he's trying to find the cat, trying to find the cat in the apartment, going like kitty, 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 like he's like literally meowing, but hunting for pussy.
Oh my god!
I'm saying
does that translation apply though?
I think it does
In Chinese. I don't know if that's same.
Oh,
like
I mean, what do you mean?
Like if they call cats pussy, that means the same thing.
Oh,
You know,
they
like,
should- probably.
You know, no, it's in every.
He's just
it's
calling.
in every-
He's just calling kitty, 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 and we all know that means. We all know what that
All right,
means.
yeah. It's probably in other languages too. I don't know though, or other cultures.
Honestly, we need to know this. We need to get on top of this.
Like, do the research. Come back next.
But
week.
I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this just to be like funny, because I do think it actually is kind of what he's trying to say. Because at least if you're thinking that she's fantasizing about talking to Kong, and then it shows that, and then it directly shows like the next scene of her still on the phone, like starting to fondle herself, like as she's wiping the sweat off, like
yeah,
I
because
don't
he's
know.
intercutting them too.
Yeah, like she's getting turned on while talking on the phone and looking at the hole or whatever. So I don't know. I don't think she's talking to anyone. I think it's a really
makes
good
sense
scene,
because this
though.
movie is very enclosed, like
Yeah.
with these two people. So.
Yeah, and it's a fantastical.
But that's why I don't think there has to be a
fantastical,
right
fantasmal
answer to movies like this. There's only like your interpretation.
Yeah, your
You know what I
interpretation.
mean?
Yeah.
And, like as long as you have like the evidence of the film to back it up, it's like there's no one right answer. Really.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah,
That is interesting because I didn't think of that at all. Like I
Well,
was kind of confused. Like who was she talking to?
Yeah,
really? I thought it was kind of like an ex-boyfriend or something, maybe.
Well,
but-
I thought at first
just
I was
like a
like, it
surface
might be the
level.
plumber, because that was. I'm
Damn,
assuming.
that'd be really desperate for the.
Well, I was
He's a good-looking
assuming.
person, come on.
I was assuming from like the phone number that she was trying to pull down whenever that infected guy touched her earlier was the plumber, but she had already been on the phone with him. I'm pretty sure. So this one, I was just like, whenever she said like, because I had never thought this the first two times watching it, but this time, whenever she said, "I'm looking at the hole you caused in my ceiling," it made me think that she had to have been talking about Kong.
In a literal sense.
In a literal
too.
sense.
That's why I thought X, like more like this is the hole you caused to me.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it's definitely up to interpret.
Yeah, it definitely is. No, yeah. It does. The next thing that happens is the direct kind of like what we were saying earlier about water being all around them, but they can't use any of it. Is her water stops working completely,
Yeah.
and we see the reason her water stops working completely is because Kong is using the water upstairs, and that's what cuts her water off basically. So everything's bad for her, but I mean Kong can still use it.
Yeah.
Because like the funniest part is like the cut whenever she smacked the faucet, and then it starts working because you see Kong turn off the faucet upstairs, and then like it just starts working again. And she's like, she kind of just looks at it like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Basically,
another one of those moments.
Yeah, like her looks are so good in this movie. Like her looks, like I mean obviously Li Kongsheng has amazing looks as we've already said, but and then we have the air cutting scenes of them both eating again, like both eating instant noodles, kind of showing them together, but not yet. And then we have the scene of maybe Tsai, as you're saying, breaking through the thin barrier that the actor put over, or that this person
They're trying
put
to
over.
stop Tsai.
Trying to stop Tsai because he just pours some water in it.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
More
funny.
water.
It's like cruel. It's like,
like
why is he
cruel.
doing that?
Yeah,
He wants to get closer to her.
I guess. Yeah, he's like trying to flirt or something.
Honestly, yeah, that probably is.
Trying to get her
What he's
attention
doing,
or
yeah.
something.
Probably, he's already had our attention though, as we've already known. But he might not.
But he doesn't know that.
Yeah, he doesn't know that. But yeah, this like him pouring that down is cut with May taking a bath and then sneezing, leading to our next musical number because we
Yeah, that's why some of these like they're literally like jump scares for
They are.
musicals. Like
Honestly,
you never know when they're coming.
I mean, this one especially because she's just sneezing like kind of normal,
It's so
and then the
depressing
last
in her
sneeze is
bathtub,
like
yeah.
bam.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like in that bathtub, it's like an echoey, empty room, and like
Yeah.
doesn't look fun to be in. Honestly,
Yeah.
And so when she sneezes, and it cuts to this like bright like musical. It's,
Yeah.
like, it's almost like a relief too. It literally is like
Yeah,
how he
she's,
means
like,
that the
trying- she's,
musical
like,
is supposed to be
compensating.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one's kind of just about a man. She's like longing for a man to marry her, or a man longing to marry her. I'm pretty sure, right? Isn't that what this one's about?
I mean, she's singing about sneezing though, for sure.
Oh, she's definitely
Yeah,
singing
yeah.
about sneezing. But I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be about like a man longing to marry her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which would go with the fantasizing about Kong still.
All I remember is the Gesundheit.
Yes, exactly. That's all that really matters. It's just another fantastically shot and choreographed musical number in this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, the song ends and it cuts directly to Kong's apartment as he hears a strange noise coming from her apartment. And then whenever he's like out on his balcony, he sees I think we hear a doorbell ring. And then he sees someone start walking this way, and he runs and hides behind his door frame, kind of, and starts eating his noodles as someone starts ringing on his doorbell. And we don't really know who this is. We can only assume it's the plumber, or maybe the kid that was playing the pranks. You never know, but we can assume it's the plumber coming to fix the hole, but he doesn't answer the door. So
Yeah.
I was thinking
It's almost like he doesn't want it to be fixed.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why
yeah.
I thought it might have been the plumber.
Honestly, yeah.
Definitely.
Damn, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, because he doesn't want it to be fixed. Because as we know, what happens directly after is he clears the rubble around the hole. Honestly,
with
this
the
entire
umbrella,
thing
with
is
the
so-
umbrella, yeah,
Yeah, that's actually what the star of enlarging the hole.
yeah.
That's
yeah.
that's the third part of this movie to me is the
Got it,
enlarging of the
yeah.
hole. But just the clearing of the rubble around it and just everything cleaning it all up is so satisfying.
Yeah.
It is, dude. I literally
It's
thought
so
of that. The way he's
satisfying.
doing it,
Yes,
Yes.
honestly, yeah. So I definitely thought of that because the sound is so satisfying too.
it is. Yeah, just yeah.
And
it's
you
so
guys should
satisfying.
definitely. There's a French movie. I'm wondering if that does something very similar with. It's actually called Les Trous. It's a French prison break movie, which literally translates to the hole. I think.
I think it does.
Yeah,
Actually.
it's English. It's the hole. Literally, this movie, and it has a very similar kind of scenes where they're chopping away at the prison floor to make a hole to go
Oh,
underground.
okay.
I mean, that's also a Bresson.
I think of Bresson very much.
What's the? Why am I forgetting the movie now?
Man
Escape.
Yeah,
Fuck.
come on, man.
Damn.
I had this
You call yourself a
Call me
Bresson
out.
fan?
I knew it was about a man escaping. I couldn't
Okay,
remember the
yeah.
name though. Man
Good
escaping.
point.
I added this to my watch list very recently, so I'm assuming it was in that Psy book I was reading. So it might be a
Okay,
connection.
yeah.
But it's kind of relevant that we're bringing these type of movies up though, because this whole scene of first him this long process of him cleaning up the rubble,
Yeah.
and then him sticking his foot through the
Well, first he just kind of enlarges it too. He enlarges the hole just a little bit.
this is the whole long. You don't know exactly
Yeah.
why. It's almost to me I realized this after we see him stick his foot through it and then
Yeah.
raise it. It's almost in my notes the first movie I thought of was Mission Impossible. It was it's almost like watching a heist movie
Honestly.
where you're watching his foot escape right when when she looks
Yeah,
to think she's seeing someone, his foot comes up
Yeah.
it would in a heist movie at the exact
It's
right
very
moment.
quick too, and I
Yeah,
love
it's like we've mentioned, Psy has these little moments of genre almost.
Yeah.
You think he just you could tell he could make a genre movie if he wanted
Oh,
to.
yeah, for sure.
But this whole thing now I'm thinking about this whole scene is kind of like that, the whole watching the whole process.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't even think about that. I only thought about that ending with his foot sticking out.
I mean, that's the most striking part of it. Obviously, is because it's just it's almost like the voyeur wanting to be caught.
Yeah.
Or he's
I know.
pushing his limits anyway.
Yeah,
yeah,
literally
that's a good- that's a
pushing,
good way.
like
Yeah,
literally
that's a good
pushing.
way
Like
of putting
it almost seems like he wants his leg to get stuck in the hole because he's driving that thing down in there. He's
Yeah, he
he's
is.
really
It's like,
he's
what
really pushing it.
Yeah, it is. And he doesn't explain it. That's what I love. You have to watch it. He doesn't explain what he's doing at all.
He's just he's just put his leg through a hole. I think my notes are actually Kong proves that if there is a hole, a man will try to stick something in it.
Damn.
Honestly, yeah. I can't.
It's
I
true,
can't
though.
agree with
I can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But to go back to the whole spy heist movie thing, and because if you think about it, those movies are also very those types of movies are just voyeuristic in general.
Yes.
You know, spy movies and heist movies, those types of movies, trying to sneak into a place without someone seeing you and leaving.
Yeah.
That's also a side kind of theme in general.
Yeah,
filming the person in
Yeah,
the room.
and there's
that no one else will run them to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. It's weird that film can have these kind of relations. With totally different themes, but not totally different. That's kind of what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like a heist movie has very voyeuristic aspects to it.
Yeah, the nature of cinema
and this
is very
voyeuristic movie has
voyeuristic
very
anyway.
heist movie
Yeah.
aspects to it.
Yeah,
Yes. I mean, Tsai Ming-liang heist movie,
I would watch.
I
it.
mean, that would be
so
immediately.
amazing.
I would watch it
Uh,
immediately.
but he's never gonna do it. But I mean,
No.
I can dream.
Could you imagine though, the monk from the monk that Li Kongsheng plays, doing a heist or something? Because that's how fast it would be. He's not going to make
Honestly,
a fast
yeah.
heist movie. He's making a slow heist movie. We know that.
Just Li Kangxing showing off.
Exactly.
like a Lay Samurai type of heist movie or something.
Okay.
Like that type of.
Okay.
That's like Le Cercle Rouge.
Like
That's
Circle
like
Rouge,
this.
yeah.
But
He's
yeah.
like, it's already been done before. I
Yeah.
don't need.
Come on, we can see it.
No, we would no, we would definitely watch it. Because, like, Le Cercle Rouge honestly has that, like, lonely guy in it.
Yeah.
Like, it would have to be just on that one guy.
Yeah.
Like, you know the guy that has those demons?
Yeah.
Like, that would be, like, a side character for sure.
Oh, let's go. Please, I need it. It's never gonna happen.
I love that guy, too. Like, the way we see him, like, he's, like, covered in something. I forgot. Like, ants or something. When we first see him.
Oh, okay, that
Or, like,
guy.
one of the
Yeah.
snipers.
The sniper.
Yeah, the sniper, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great film.
That was a great film. That is a great
Yeah.
film. No, but we're wrapping up the movie now because this, like, after Kong enlarges the hole, and like he almost gets caught with his foot dangling or whatever. It cuts to May in her bedroom, kind of like trying to fall asleep, but I think this is what you were calling the nighttime sneezes, basically.
Yep.
Where
She takes some pills, like,
she
allergy
takes some
medicine,
pills,
probably.
allergy medicines, but then she wakes up in the middle of the night to just her bed and everything completely soaked because her bedroom has been leaking. A lot like how the dad in the river woke up. But then this is her breakdown scene. Like, she starts breaking down this scene, and honestly,
Both of them.
No, both of them do, but her breakdown is kind of like almost like the infected men earlier that we see, like because she starts like crawling around the ground and then hides in the little darkness, so you don't really know if she's like sick or not.
Yeah. You think she might be getting sick here?
Yeah, because like that's at least what we assume is like that's why Kong starts pounding so hard on the bottom of the door, or on not the bottom of the door, on the hole, because he's like trying to break it up even more, and then this is his like little breakdown scene where he starts crying. I'm pretty sure this one's at least it's over a minute straight. There has to be,
maybe longer. Honestly.
Maybe longer because it just holds on to Kong just like crying there for a while.
Yeah.
But then it like shows her slow emergence kind of through her like supplies. And then it's just the light there. Like, the light's just kind of there.
Yeah.
And that's, like, what I'm saying. Like, the lighting in this scene is amazing. And honestly, now that we're talking about it, like, I honestly don't know if this is just where the musical number starts. And so it's still just, like, a fantasy. Like, this entire ending is just still a fantasy.
It might be, yeah. It
because,
definitely
like,
has that
his
feel.
banging on the door with his hammer and chisel is not doing... his banging on the floor with his hammer and chisel is not doing anything.
Yeah.
So how would he be able to make the hole that much bigger to pull her entire body through?
Yeah.
And we've already been saying how, like... all the musical numbers are kind of like escapism or like them fantasizing about being together.
Yeah, but I think this is I think the most important thing though is that they both realize they need each other.
Yes.
Like fully realization, I feel like.
And I think like what you're saying is true, but it's like it's almost like Tsai saying this is the movie. Like he's like revealing this is the movie.
Yeah.
Both of these things coming together. You know, like the realistic aspect and this fantasy aspect.
Yeah.
They come together in
yeah.
this moment where it's like the film literally. And that's kind of what the whole movie is. The whole movie,
Yeah.
like, literally, film is all fantastical, right? And
Yeah.
like this distinction between realistic and then fantasy is like kind of just, you know, the arbitrary in a film at the end of the day because it's all fantasy.
It all is fantasy.
Yeah.
It's all fake.
Yeah,
Honestly.
which makes it all real too. You know, if you have that feeling towards it,
Yes.
which the ending definitely deserves that.
Yeah. Which
Oh, yeah.
Are we at the when she
No, yeah, we're at the ending now.
Yeah,
where
he pulls her up.
Yeah, like it's just like first the arm extending water just down,
Yes.
like extending a helping hand literally. And then it's just literally his hand like just extended down there.
dude.
And he just pulls her up and then it starts the amazing song.
This is like I said this in my review, but like this is not only one of my favorite endings ever in a movie, like one of my favorite moments in a movie. There's
it's
something
so
about
good.
well, it's just the fact that he went to the choice with a slow dance
Yeah.
instead of like a usual like kiss. Like there's something about the slow dance, like
It's
slow
more
dance
romantic.
nature. It's just there's something about the feeling it gives. Like and the song
And the
choice
song-
is
the
perfect.
song does
like
it,
I
yeah.
don't care who you are.
Yeah.
Like
The song
Goddamn.
the song just emphasizes what this movie's trying to like say basically in general.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so perfect.
It's so good. It's so perfect that Tsai has to dedicate the entire movie to Grace Chang.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
Well, I think we mentioned this before we started, but these credits are actually, I think, part of the movie too, because like he mentions Grace Chang's name, like basically
Yeah.
dedicates the movie, and then, well, the exact quote is, "In the year 2000, we're grateful that we still have Grace Chang's songs to comfort us."
Yeah.
And then he says Tsai Ming-liang, but then the actual cast is just the woman downstairs.
It's the woman
and
downstairs and the man
upstairs.
upstairs.
Like they don't even get names.
Yeah.
Like Grace Chang is the only person named in the movie, which is just another part.
And
of the
honestly,
whole
that's
movie.
probably one reason why it still connects with so many people today is because the protagonists are literally nameless.
Yeah.
Like, it could be anyone.
yes.
Because we've all
Yeah.
we've all experienced
Exactly.
stuff like this. It could be anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a really great movie. The Hole is one of my favorites from Psy. I've
Oh,
said
yeah,
that I think
for me
about
too.
all of them, but
I think maybe that's why people like musicals in general too. Like they can relate with the protagonist. Like there's a identification with the main characters in a lot of them. you
yeah.
know?
Yeah,
Like-
so, yeah, you could say that about a lot of them. Like, yeah.
But it is like it's weird. Maybe just to conclude, like maybe the first one where we actually get a release for Psy, where it's actually like optimistic. You know, where it's not kind of a fake,
Yeah.
almost a
Yeah.
kind of fake or just momentary release. Maybe maybe the end of the
I
river, like you were
I
saying,
do think
maybe,
the river
but yeah.
is somewhat hopeful.
But this one is definitely like
this
the
one's definitely
most,
hopeful.
which
Yeah.
is like it's just nice to see, honestly.
Yeah. No, it's just so sweet.
Beautiful, yeah.
It's just a beautiful ending.
No,
No, The
not-
Hole is a beautiful movie.
No
so-
adjectives can give it justice.
No.
in my opinion, but,
No. No, yeah, but that's the end of The Hole. And so next week we are going to be doing another two just absolute bangers. Like this might be our best episode in this podcast. We never know. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
No,
So
it's
you give
what
away
time-
one of your favorite favorites.
I mean, what time is it there? I'm extremely excited to watch again because
I'm
I've
really
only
excited
seen
for
it
that.
once, and it wasn't my favorite actually of Size. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to see that's probably going to change. I'm already
Okay.
assuming it's going to change because I hadn't even seen any French movies at that point. Whenever I'd probably
I love the header on
Yeah.
Letterboxd. It already got me
Oh,
just from
it's
him
so-
holding that
oh,
huge
it's
clock
so
in the movie
It's so
theater.
good.
yeah, and then we got...
And then Goodbye Dragon Inn, which is the greatest movie of
Oh.
all time. So
Like, yeah, what's up
Well, I'll be
there?
the judge of that. No.
It's
you
it's
gave
in
it a
conversation.
3. You gave it a
for
3 already. So
Exactly,
It's-
that's what I
yeah.
said.
Oh, it's
But I'm gonna watch Dragon Inn too. So.
Thank God.
yes, you
I
need to
haven't
watch
seen
it. I can't believe you haven't seen Dragon Inn.
Yeah, it's any King Who in general. Like,
Shame this man.
yes, sir.
Shame. Okay, but,
For now.
but yeah. So what time is it?
You haven't seen
there?
a Persona, that's worse.
I've seen Passion of
Yeah.
Oh, he said it wrong
That's
too.
a word.
It's
Yeah,
a
you
trial
said it.
Joan of
the
Arc.
Trial of Joan of Arc. I
Yeah,
knew what it was.
Passion of the other one.
Joan of Arc
But
movie. But yeah.
until next week, we hope to see you floating through the clouds.
我不管你是谁，在你怀里沉醉，我和你紧紧相偎，尝一尝甜蜜滋味。我不管你是谁，在你怀里沉醉，我和你心印相随，尝一尝风流滋味。梁上燕子双栖双飞，十里鸳鸯有去有回。我要问你为什么长相随，分不开一对对。我不管你是谁，在你怀里沉醉，我和你心